y'all? This episode we had Lue Cameron on, who's actually a pro wrestler. Fun fact, we don't mention it until about 2 hours into the podcast, but we had never met each other. I just hit him on Instagram. I know him through Dayton, through that Pro Wrestling Academy, America's Pro Wrestling Academy, AAPW. And so that's how we connected, had him on the podcast. It was an absolute blast. The guy's been on various different wrestling promotions, about 20 different promotions. He's traveling all across the state as a pro wrestler. Next year, he's looking to start traveling across the United States. So this was a super interesting conversation for me on a lot of different levels. He's completely blew me away. It was a fantastic episode. Absolutely loved it. So hope y'all enjoy it. But as always, Shirts are for sale. DM me to lock in your size. We have small, medium, large, and extra large. The double XL went to Big Dan. Thanks, Big Dan. Small through extra large. Let me know if you want it. DM me. Appreciate y'all. Enjoy the episode. And like, comment, and subscribe.
Doing the damn thing.
All right.
Yeah? There. Alright, we gotta pull this up real quick. We're looking at a reel, for those who can't see the TV. We're looking at a reel by another pro wrestler here in town by the name of Travis Cut. And what he does to this man is absolutely disrespectful. Oh my God.
Hey, violated him, bro.
And it's the kick afterwards. The humping is one thing. The humping is one thing. It's the disrespectful kick to the chest afterwards that just really.
Hey, just finished with it, bro. When I see this, man, I just don't know, man. I just don't know, bro.
For those who can't see the number on screen, it has 1.1 million views just on Instagram. That's not including TikTok or YouTube Shorts. And it is 63,014 likes.
At that point, you just gotta kill that guy, man.
You gotta do something, bro.
You gotta commit a hate crime, but this is not gonna work.
This is why you gotta carry it all the time, bro.
All the time, bro.
The ref's I've now watched it 13 times, and I'm just now realizing the ref's reaction is as about spot on as it possibly could be. Dude.
Hey, I tell you what, there's a treat because he does the same thing to that ref in a match. The match happened the last Saturday show that we had. And not only did he get that stroked down, but then he got stroked down with something that he calls the cock lock. And man, Travis Cutty's been on a run of disrespect, and I think it's beautiful, bro. I think it's absolute beauty.
Take these fucking strokes.
Insane, bro. Insane.
Was Gary doing it or taking it?
I'm
definitely taking it for sure. He's
not
making eye contact. It's not gay at all.
Taking it's got to be the gay part.
Dude. Because you have to agree to it before you got into it. Imagine y'all are in the ring together, calling it live in the ring, and he's like, "Hey, Lou, we're gonna go do the thing."
Nah. What if I just moved? I don't know, man. Look, I feel like there's a reason for everything, right? And we just saw the reason, 1.1 million views, right? For me, though, a guy like me, I'm like, man, let's maximize our match. I'm like, but after that, what can I do to make myself look like, he might have got his head fucked on, but at least he murdered that guy back. Because then I gotta throw you out the ring. I gotta throw you.
That's literally what I was gonna say. You have to put somebody above your shoulders and full
into the crowd
and throw.
Like it's early ECW. You know what I'm saying? I gotta throw you like you're Spike Dudley, bro. You have to die for that.
And he's gotta land on spikes.
I believe the way that match ended was not like that. Shout out Houston Hendricks though.
Wait. Did Travis also win the match as well?
No, but he didn't get pinned.
Okay.
But he didn't get pinned. It was a three-way, and Primetime J Sky ended up coming in there and yoking Houston Hendricks up and hitting him with the craziest spinning powerbomb machine. I said, y'all are fucked up for that, man. Y'all are wrong for that. But no, Houston Hendricks is a consummate professional, and I heard that he's injured out of that match, so I wish him a speedy recovery, because this shit does take a lot out of you.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Without being said, obviously, we're sitting down with Lue Cameron. This man is a pro wrestler here in Austin, representing AAPW and other promotions here. Dude, I didn't know how many that there was even a promotion here in Austin before Dayton. I didn't know that I would also be a 32-year-old man spending my Saturday nights watching it.
Yeah.
I also didn't know that there were other promotions as well.
Oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
This shit. I tell people this all the time. So we would always it'd be like 4, 5, 6 of us. We'd come in, a few brewskis, like 1 or 2 beers deep, just take the edge off so you can talk a lot of shit and not care. I tell people all the time, dude, I'm like, it should be illegal how much fun those shows are.
Yeah.
It is stupid, dude.
Hell yeah.
Y'all put on an incredible show. It's so much fucking fun to watch. It is everything you want to do at a sporting event, and it's acceptable, right? Like, you see people fighting at football events, and you're like, what the fuck are y'all doing? This is dumb.
Show some fucking core.
Right? Just show some restraint, dude. It's fucking football. But then you go to the wrestling events, and you're talking as much shit as you would love to at a football game, and it's accepted. Either the heel is loving it because they're dishing it back, or the face is like, you're cheering for the face typically, and they're fucking loving it, and it's just overall, dude, just a fucking fantastic experience, man.
Well, the thing is, that's the grateful part about this business is when the fans come in and they do actually engage with the crowd, with the wrestling, and it makes it easy for the wrestlers to engage with the crowd, right? Like, as a wrestler, there's nothing worse than going out there, putting your best performance on, and the crowd's like, cool, sick, when's the bathroom line shortening so I can get in there? Yep. So, I appreciate that you say that we put on a show that's worth doing that too, because I wouldn't want it to be a show that doesn't. And like you said, there's a lot of shows out in Austin. I'm a champion at one of them. Shout out Baracho Pro. Me, Ethan Hunter, and Mokele Paradigm. We're all champions over there actually right now. And we have our next show on what I believe is November 2nd. And we're going to call that show Pay Your Tab. I had to make a reminder real quick because I have so many shows leading up to it in October. I got to go to San Antonio. I got to go to Fort Worth. Got to go to Waco. Got to go back to San Antonio. It's a pretty busy schedule, but it comes with I guess having a good training, a good resume, and a good repertoire, and people enjoying your work. So it's
you're moving around, you're doing shows.
Trying
you're really doing the damn thing.
Trying to, man. October's looking really fun.
It's fucking cool.
Hell yeah, bro.
That's gotta feel good for you.
Yeah, man.
How much time do you put into this?
Okay, so originally I trained with a Mr. Wes Adams back in Mississippi, and this was like 2011, you know what I mean? This was way back when I was freshly out of high school. And I ended up leaving there because, I had a girlfriend, so I didn't really get very far into it. But I did get the basics, right? Yeah. But then I left there for 13 years or whatever, and I ended up, in Texas, and then I started chasing the dream down here, and been here since 2022 of November, but I started training in 2023. So it's really just been, kind of like a marathon, right? And I feel like I finally hit the second wind where it's okay, now this is getting a lot easier. It's all become repetition. Yeah. But I couldn't do it without all the great mentors that I've had along the way. A lot of people that have helped me push through, when maybe you feel like there was a roadblock, right? Because, wrestling can be real political at times, as far as where you can and can't get in. And it's not, and I don't say that like a knock on anybody.
How so?
Well, so if I'm good friends with person A, and person A, they have a good following, whatever, and then they've made a name for themselves out here, right? I'm good friends with this person over here. This person doesn't like person A, but we do really good business, right? So person A can now probably not be at my show if I want to keep the business that I'm doing with this guy, because it makes him uncomfortable, right? The same with talent. It's like, oh, you're my guy. I love your work. Oh, you don't like this guy? Well, we don't got to have him on the show no more. That's fine. And you know, it's little schoolboy shit like that just kind of.
Why do you think that is? Because that's not how you grow promotions, right? You can't grow. You can't grow exponentially by having that mindset, right? Like you should be bringing the best people in, regardless of how you feel about them, right, or who they're connected to. And so, why do you feel like they hinder themselves like that?
I think it's because everybody thinks they know best, right? Like even I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Right? I don't run a promotion, but I do know that the promotions that I work at, and I do see the houses, and I do see how much of it is due to certain people and how much of it isn't, and how much of it would probably expand if you would put these people in a more prominent position. But they don't, and sometimes like there's territories in the state, and I call it territories loosely because we're not in that timeline no more. But there's territories in the state that don't have certain wrestlers, certain teams, certain factions, entities, and I'm not even talking about myself, because of some shit that has nothing to do with the business of wrestling, but everything to do with people's personal egos and their pride. And oh man, you know, I didn't like the way that guy talked to me that time, and it's like the whole time it's like people forget that, you know, this is business, but you know we're also in the type of business where like it's very physical, you know what I mean? And last I checked, you know, we are all grown-ups, so if there was an issue that needed to be dealt with, it could always be dealt with in a way that's both professional and mature, without having to become, hey, don't book that guy, he made me uncomfortable. But and I preach that on like every podcast that I go to. Like I hate it so much how these places have become so boxed in, and then it's like you see the same fucking match over and over and over. It's like, why don't we have this guy here? Well, because person X doesn't like them. It's just, it becomes corny, and it's one of the reasons that in 2026 and really anywhere going forward, I really want to just be more outside of Texas. Okay. So like that's part of why I'm trying to have a really good run in 2025, so that I have something to be like, hey man, you know, I done knocked it out down here, right? But at the end of the day, if they want you, they'll take you, right? So that's the reality of it. I just want to make sure that I'm wanted. Yeah. And I think at that point, when I get to that level and become undeniable, then bias and, you know, shit like that, it no longer applies, because when you become so undeniable that you would actually be hindering your company past your own bias, you know what I mean? Or I guess when you have enough people around you telling you, hey man, this guy's great, you should actually book him. He actually made my company some money or some profit, or he just is a great talent to work with. Then it becomes something where, you know, okay, I know you don't like this guy, but will you please show up? I'm just here to work, man. I'm just here to try to get my job, get over what I need to get over, and hopefully be back next time, you know what I mean? But hey,
absolutely.
I don't run into these shows, so what can I say about it, right?
Fair. You ever see yourself running a promotion at some point? Is that an aspiration of yours, or what do you see yourself doing after wrestling?
You know, I've always enjoyed the idea of being involved behind the scenes. So I think there is a part of me that would want to just know what it's like to run a show, the ins and outs. You know, a lot of people don't know this, but I was working on trying to put a couple of pieces together down in Mississippi, but like, you know, everything moves a little bit slower, and then some hurdles and all that shit. But, you know, c'est la vie. Inevitably, I am going to try to run my own show, and I'm going to try to make the best show possible without having to just succumb to personal biases. But at the same time, that means that there's going to have to be people that are going to be like, hey man, you're a great guy, but maybe this isn't your spot. And if I can do that and not eat my words on like, you know, just booking my buddies, then, you know, then I feel like I've done something worthwhile with, you know, the message that I'm preaching. But outside of that, man, I don't know. I like coaching. Like right now down at AAPW, I assist with, you know, whatever Pops needs me to. And it's not to say that I'm like, no, I'm not some fucking head trainer, none of that shit. I'm one of the guys down there that helps around because I'm out and about on the scene. And anytime that I see my advice get applied and the guys utilize it and it makes the match better, it's like winning a title all on its own, man. Because like how could I not be excited about the fact that my insight actually held value in the field that I thought it would versus like just, well, I thought this, but I didn't want to say nothing, right? Like put your money where your mouth is type shit.
Yep. Yeah, no, absolutely, man. We talked about that before we started rolling. It's that same mindset of, doing this and this is my way of helping people. And if you gain a follower from this, or if someone goes to one of the shows because of this, like that's a victory. That's my selfish reason for doing this.
Yeah.
Outside of just being annoyingly curious about everything, and just being fascinated by people who are obsessed with what they do.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the whole theme of this, is just that I love people being in love with something.
Yeah.
Just fucking find what you like to do and go for it. I love that. And I love hearing the stories, and I love hearing all of it, the bad parts, the good parts, the ups and the downs, because that's life, right? It's sad when people don't find something like this that they really enjoy, or they suppress it and just don't go after it, right? And so when you were taking that hiatus, did you know that you were going to go back to wrestling, or were you, or was there some, kind of like times where you're like, fuck, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do it again?
I would say there was always something in me that wanted to interact with wrestling and keep wrestling right on the back burner, because like, my dad was a wrestler, right? So my dad being, a wrestler, he only got to wrestle for 6 years before he had a heart attack and died in Germany, where I was born. And he had a pretty good career for like only 6 years. He wrestled in Stampede up there with Hearts, and he beat British Bulldog for the title. Was the last champion until they closed down, and then he got put in the Stampede Hall of Fame. All really impressive shit, man. And he did Canadian football. He also did bodybuilding, like. And this man died, 1 year into my life. And so I never really got to have that relationship where it was like, I'm a second generation wrestler, but I'm not a Nepo baby. Nobody's giving me anything for free. I'm not getting well, his dad is so-and-so, you gotta let him through. No, nobody's taking it easy on me, and I'm grateful for that. I feel like if I hadn't had that experience, I probably wouldn't appreciate and fall in love with this as much as I have. So it's something that's, doing this, like you said, find something that you love and just go for it, bro. This is everything to me. You know what I mean? Like, this is all I have. And I know that sounds kind of insane because you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, but like, if you find something that makes sense, I feel like that's where you should stay at, right? Like, why would I go out and, chase shit that I'm not gonna do, man? Like, I tried to make music once upon a time, and then I was just like goofing off with my friends, just getting into hood rat shit with my friends. But I mean, wrestling was always something that I kind of like applied to my life. So it was like in the back of my mind, I always felt like I was going back to it, but. For a long time, I was just kind of ashamed because like I didn't go with it the first time. So it was like, should I even go back? Do I deserve to go back there? And then going back to it was refreshing. Man. It felt like walking back into your own home. So it's fucking awesome. I love wrestling. I love everything you do about it.
I love that. Are you ever afraid of it making it your personality? Like you said, this is the only thing that you have. Are you ever afraid of that in the sense of like, there's gonna be a day where you can't wrestle. There could be a day where an injury happens and you can't wrestle or something along those lines. Like, are you afraid of making it your personality where it could be taken away?
Nah, because I will say this, right? I went through. I'm not gonna bore anybody with like my soap opera life, but like I went through a pretty challenging times in my life where like I developed character traits where like. I'll understand how to cope with when the day comes where I can't wrestle no more. I'll understand how to cope with when the day comes where, I may or may not get a contract that matters, you know what I'm saying? And that any of them matter, really, all of them do. But like when I say matters, I mean like, one match, hey, you get paid $50 or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Versus like, hey, you're signed for 6 months to a year, move your family down to Florida. I feel like I do have other interests and hobbies in my life, but they just don't. Like when you compare them, you know, it's a candle in the sun. It just doesn't even out. Like wrestling's always going to be there. Even when I do other things in my life, I'll probably still apply it in the way I look at wrestling, like how I look at the structure of a match, how I look at the structure of a show when I watch it. Like these are the high points, these are the low points, this is the bathroom. Like, I don't know, it's just, I guess kind of how I've trained myself to think. So there's never really a moment where I'm like, you know, if something happens to my physical body, I'll still be all right. Wrestling will still be a part of my life.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not all that I am. You know what I mean? It's just, in the same word, in the same sense, it is all that I am.
I get what you're saying. It sounds like you have the self-belief and knowing that you could always reinvent yourself if something was to happen.
Yeah.
And you also have the confidence of, we were also talking about it beforehand, you like dabbling in other aspects of behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
You were commentating this week on the Thursday show, and so you are doing other aspects of the business. So if something was to happen where you couldn't physically actually wrestle, you're confident in your ability to at least have a hand and have value in adding something else around to wrestling.
Yes,
That's wonderful.
absolutely. I would, whether it's commentating, agenting, on screen or off screen, right? Like being able to be a part of it and just contribute to that world. It's a privilege, you know what I mean? Like wrestling in that ring is a privilege. Like you're not guaranteed anything here, so everything is earned. Nothing's promised. And I feel like if being an in-ring competitor comes to an end, I'm just gonna shift and find my way back into wrestling. And like I said, if that is all taken away from me, like if for any reason I can't, I'll just shift to what's next most interesting. It'll suck, right? Like life would suck. It would feel a little bit empty, but then I'd probably just make wrestling references and be happy again. So it'd be all good.
Just reinvent yourself.
That's what
Keep it
you
going.
Yep.
Fuck yeah, dude. We were talking about how you were saying when you were in Mississippi, you were a different person than you are now. I'm having a hard time trying to realize or figure out who you would have been in the past, because you have such a great mindset. It seems like you have such a great head on your shoulders. We were talking about some personal stuff before this, where it seems like you have a very good perspective when people are trying to pull you down. What was the turning point then? So what made you, how'd you come across all this?
So basically, when I was in Mississippi, man, there's just not a lot of options and opportunities, or at least there wasn't when I was there, right? I stayed in a little city called Hattiesburg. I stayed all over the place, but I stayed in Hattiesburg, and it was just, man, it was bleak, you know what I mean? Like, there's no wrestling, like, not like in Texas, right? My friends down there, they just started a MMA promotion. They're actually switching names now. It was the Milk and Cookies Fight Promotion. It's now going to be Premier Fight Alliance or Association, one of the two. I gotta get used to the new name too, right? But they're having a show on October 25th. It's going to be a really good card. They got a guy that they've been running with for a while, Brandon Penton. Fantastic guy, fantastic talent. Definitely a standout in his division. And last time I went to the shows, you know what I mean, there was a lot of exciting fights, a lot of exciting talent. My buddy Jordan Thrash, you know, he put that whole thing together, and so I'm always excited to see what the guys back home do, because, like I said, when I was there, that wasn't, you know, they had the basis of it, but they all had other stuff going on too. So, you know, and I mean, respectfully, that wasn't what I was looking to do, is do MMA. I have, you know, my roots are in wrestling, so it just wasn't there like that, you know, and the people in Mississippi, you know, unfortunately, are just not the most supportive. Like over here, I have met so many people who don't know me from a can of fucking paint, and they're like, yo, we love you. You're so great, and we support you. And I always feel like this warmth overtake me, because, like, in Mississippi, that shit don't happen from your own friends. Your own friends will see you striving and shit, and they're like, hell yeah, man. Won't even share a link, bro. But like, you come to Texas and there's people who've never seen you, never interacted with you, but they like what you do and they believe what you do, and so there's hope here. I guess that's the biggest difference, right? Like in Mississippi, I'm a lot more miserable. There's just trials there, man. Like it's like, why would I go play a video game where I know there's no storyline? It's just suffering, bro. Like at that point, I'd rather just not play the game, stay inside, be a loser, you know what I mean? Because if you go outside, inevitably somebody who is jealous of you, or somebody who's just mentally ill, because there's a lot of that down there. Nobody gets checked, and if I could do one thing for Mississippi besides bring quality pro wrestling, it would be to advocate for better mental health awareness down there, because there's a lot of people down there who just run around insane, for lack of a better word, and treating people however they want to, and nobody checks it because the system is so one-sided that I mean, to step in and do anything is basically just to commit suicide. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to solve anything, and eventually, the person you try to help may wake up, stab you in their sleep. You know what I mean? Might as well just leave them alone, right? And it's sad that you have to come to that point, but that's Mississippi. You know what I mean? It's miserable, bro.
Yeah. When did you know you had to leave?
Honestly, it was right around COVID time, man. Right around COVID time, which was like 2 years before I actually left. But I was going through some things, and with the girl that I was with, and you know, we were staying in 2 separate locations because it just got so toxic that you know, she was basically like attacking me in front of friends and stuff, and that's not cool, man. We can't be doing that. But you know, less on that, more on the fact that there was nothing good left, right? Like the only person that I had there really at that point was my mom, and she's a grown-ass woman with her own problems, and she doesn't need me sitting on her couch, Mom, what can you do for me? And I was like 29 years old before I made the decision to call in, and then I came here at 29, so I guess it was like 26 when all this shit was going down. And I don't know, man. It felt like there wasn't a positive outcome to anything that I was doing at the time.
Yeah,
and then
you're
COVID
laying out the different options, and you're just...
Yeah, like right when COVID happened, I lost my job. I was working at there's a place called Savvy Links. It was financial aid, student financial aid.
Okay.
So I was helping people fill out FAFSA forms and shit like that. Okay. And then I lost that job. COVID hit, and everything was kind of topsy-turvy for a while. So I ended up moving in with a friend, my good friend Steven Erickson, who has since passed, rest his soul. He's one of the best people I've ever met in my life, honestly. One of the people that believed in me when I came out here, when I said I was going to do it. So, you know, I could never, you know, thank him and his family enough. They're true angels in this field of terrible people, right? But I say that to say, you know, his passing being recently, it just reminds me of the fact that, you know, during that timeline, I had nobody really rooted with me, right? And that was the basis of my support system, was somebody that met me maybe like a year before. And it became abundantly clear that I had to get out, right? Like I had to go do something, or something was gonna do me. And so I just got out. And I was thankful for everybody that's helped me be here, and everybody that's helped me be at the level that I've been able to attain to. And I don't think that I'm doing shit important, right? But there's people that believe in me. And I feel like I owe those people, you know, to be the best version of me, because those people a lot of times didn't have the belief to spare, right? They didn't have shit going for them. I mean, truth be told, every year that I've been here, I've like lost a friend. Like every time I go back, there's one less person. And sometimes it makes me sick to my stomach, but sometimes it makes me just realize that I have to cherish these moments all the more, because, you know, when you leave what you're always accustomed to, when you leave what you have grown up with, you have to be comfortable in knowing that it's not always going to be there, right? Like you're going to leave, and people are going to die, people are going to pass, things are going to get torn down, friendships are going to end, and when you get comfortable in that fact, the future doesn't seem so scary, right? Because now it's oh shit, what am I gonna not come back to, man? Like, and I don't know, man. It's tough lessons to learn, but it's something that's made me more appreciative for the people that I met, and it made me appreciative for the decision that I made to actually leave when I made it to leave.
Yeah, it's a fucking hard decision, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, You didn't go from New York to California, but Mississippi to Texas, that's not a short
That's 10 hours.
You know?
10 hours.
Yeah, that's a decent little bit there,
Yeah.
right? And to come here, you know, to Austin, Texas, and continue to pursue your dream, dude. You know, it sounds like there's a little bit of imposter syndrome talking about how, you know, you don't think you're doing shit, but I would strongly disagree. You're a fucking inspiration because it takes a lot of balls to leave something that you were rooted in for 26 years. It takes self-awareness to understand that this is nothing very positive is going to come from the circumstances and the situation and the things that are going on around you. Having that self-awareness, understanding that, and then having the balls to then pick up and move across a couple states, come here, and continue to pursue your dream. People listening to this, that gives them hope. That gives them the thought of knowing that they can also do it too. Because that is the unfortunate reality of life, is there is areas that are not, the opportunities aren't as widely available. They're more scarce, and there's people who just feel fucking stuck. They feel like they can't do any better, so then they either fall into old habits or they fall into bad habits because they feel like that's their way of survival. They're trying to survive, and you took a different path. You could have went a bajillion different ways, I'm sure, right? And you took a different path, and you were like, you know what? I'm gonna live a different way. I'm gonna turn a new leaf. I'm gonna start something so that way, for your kids and for your family and for the next generations that come along past your name, they don't have to grow up in the same kind of place. They don't have to feel like they're stuck anywhere. They saw either their dad, or they saw their uncle, or they saw their friend, or whoever you are to them. They saw this person pick their shit up and go and make a better life for themselves. Mm-hmm. Instead of sitting there, woe is me, or sitting there and just not doing it, right? And just being stuck and then being miserable for the next 50 years of your life.
Yeah.
Right? That's a lot of people don't even leave their own hometown ever. I'm very grateful being a military brat. I moved around a lot, so moving to me is very normal. So if I had to pick up and relocate, I'd be like, oh, okay, I know what this feels like. I know that I can also go to new places and make friends because I've done it time and time again. Like as you said, when you leave friendships and you think you're going to be best friends with, your boy that lives in Maryland after you moved to Alaska, it doesn't happen like that. It's a fairy tale, right? Every once in a while, there's one or two people that may continue to stick around, and you might talk to them every once in a while, but that friendship's never the same, right? And so you have to relocate completely and come to a city and do your thing. And it's very easy to get caught up in that, like, oh, I ain't doing nothing special. I'm just a pro wrestler. I'm just here entertaining people, putting on a show. But at the end of the day, dude, that's an inspirational story. And as you continue to go on and you continue to go on bigger and bigger shows and continue to do bigger and bigger matches, but you're just going to spread that story to more and more people, and you're just going to be able to provide them the feeling of, oh, I can do it too. I think it's so important. It's something that we talk about almost every fucking episode, dude. It's so important, like, and I'm sure you know this, being in the sport that you are, there's a lot of parallels to fighters. Everyone says they want to fight till they fight. Mm. Everybody says they want to be a pro wrestler till they start doing back-to-back shows, and you're like, fuck, this hurts, that hurts, this hurts. And so you've seen a lot of people talk about it. Mm-hmm. But you fucking actually did it. And doing it is what inspires people. Talking about it does nothing. You can talk about it all the fuck you want, but it doesn't inspire anybody to do anything better because you're yapping about it.
That's right.
What inspires someone to do it is what the fuck you did. Packed your bags, came the fuck over here, and you're doing the damn thing. You're lining shows up. You're going from city to city. Next year you're gonna go state to state.
Hell yeah.
You're doing the fucking thing, right?
Hell yeah.
And so, give yourself a little bit of credit. Don't allow that imposter syndrome to hold you down and to keep you from spreading the inspiration that you are.
I really appreciate that. I really don't know. No, I appreciate that. Because I think sometimes everybody just needs to hear that, man. Just, you believe in yourself a little bit more. I try my best to just, take it as it comes. Like you said, man, hey, at this point I am stacking up the show, so
You're
it's something
doing
to be proud of.
you are a pro wrestler. You can say that you are supporting yourself with that. You are traveling around. You are doing the damn thing, bro.
That's real.
Like, you're doing it, bro, and that's no easy feat, right? Like I only hope to someday be able to have that similar kind of story where, like, this and other things that I'm working on outside of my day job, being able to be like, yeah, dude, that's what I do now. That this is what I do.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, and it just shows somebody else that they can do it, right? And I think that's the most powerful motivator. It's the reason why I started this back up after my daughter was born, because I want to show her that she can do whatever she wants. Even if this goes nowhere, I'm going to show her, like, hey, I fucking tried.
Yeah.
Every weekend, here we are, Saturday afternoon, boom, 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 boom. And eventually, 2 episodes a week, 3 episodes a week, etc. And show her, be like, hey, you can fucking do whatever you want too. Instead of telling her, like, hey, you can do it.
Nah, show
you're not
her.
doing it, right? And then it feels unattainable if you don't see it. But if I see it and you surround yourself with people who are doing it, and then it feels attainable, and you're like, you know what, actually, hold on, I can do this. Okay, I did make a little bit of money here. Oh, I did make a little bit of money here. And then you start crunching some numbers, doing some math, you start moving the things around, and the next thing you know, you're doing the goddamn thing.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most important things is, like, for anybody that has kids in this business, and I feel like I think that's what a lot of people think when they do this, is like, I want to be able to show my kid that it is something that you can be. You can be great if you want to be, right? You can be a champion. If your parent's a champion, damn it, you believe you're a champion. And if you don't, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? Because this shit is hard, right? Everything in life essentially is a challenge, right? But
whatever you choose to endeavor on, it's gonna be hard. And if it's not hard, you're not working hard enough at it.
you're wasting your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything that comes easy is not worth having, in my opinion. That's why a lot of stuff that's in Mississippi, that came easy was just like, oh, this is pennies. You know what I'm saying? This is nothing, because there's no 401k here. And I mean, there's no 401k in wrestling, right? But there's no lasting effects here. Like, this shit's just gonna take me down, and I'm not gonna be able to be like, yeah, but you remember that time that can't say that, because that's insane, right? Like, you don't brag about these types of things. And so I don't know, I'm very happy to be an inspiration, and I hope that there's people, whether they be my kids or my cousins' kids, siblings' kids, nephews, aunts, uncles, whatever. I hope that anybody who watches me and is inspired by me, hope that they push themselves just a little bit further, because I believe that they can do better than what I'm doing. I mean, and not to say that I ain't doing shit, not to say that one, but just like, if I can do this, imagine what somebody 7 years younger who started earlier could do, right? Imagine what the guy who's 17, matter of fact, I have a partner in my faction paradigm named Ethan Hunter, who's been wrestling since he's like 14 years old, so it's like just ingrained in him. Fantastic kid. Like, I think when I watch him, I think to myself, like, imagine where he's gonna go in 6 years, because he's already like a 5-year veteran, 5 or 6 year veteran. He's been doing this shit forever. And and then there's other guys who start very young, but like 17, 18, 19, 20, even 21, right? It's, where could this shit take them if they know all the things that I didn't know, that nobody knows, right? Because you don't just walk in the front door and get told all the small little details. And sometimes you have people that just don't want to give you the details. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to act like I'm anybody's favorite. Like, there's been times where I might not have gotten all the details, but I'm not going to sit here and hold it against somebody, because I understand that's how this business works. You find the people that you feel like are going to be able to understand what you're giving them, and then you provide it, right? Sometimes you're wrong, sometimes you're right, sometimes you leave out good people, but that's something that you have to bear, you know what I'm saying? But as far as like giving a little knowledge, bro, it's my favorite thing to do, you know what I mean? Not because I think I know better, but just because I've experienced a lot of silly little shit, where it's like, hey man, I can tell you right now, don't do that because this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it's not even, you don't even think this is a big deal, but watch what happens. And then 50 seconds later, here we go. Now we have a shitstorm of like, hey man, what are you talking about on that post? It's like, it's so much easier when you just don't engage with a lot of these people. But, you know, man, it's, you know.
It makes sense. You know, there's a lot, I mentioned it just a second ago, there's a lot of parallels between fighting and pro wrestling, right? There's not a lot of money at the beginning. It's a grind. It's physically the hardest things that you'll do. And, you know, we were talking about earlier how I was asking you if you're afraid of making it your personality. And you were saying that, you know, you have the self-confidence and the self-belief that you're not worried about reinventing yourself. You're not worried about finding another endeavor. And you've also positioned yourself so that you can pick up other aspects of the business. Did you do that on purpose? Or has this just been something just kind of natural? Like, are you just naturally curious? Or were you somewhat consciously aware of the fact that it's dangerous to make something, just one aspect, your personality? Because if that gets taken away, then who are you?
I think it's a bit of both, to be honest with you. I think that naturally I do always want to learn a little bit more because as wrestling goes, sometimes you're in a locker room where you're not needed, right? So what can you do to still justify your place amongst the crowd of people who are working really hard and about to go risk their lives? And also, I believe very highly in being an asset anywhere that you go. So whether it's, you know, just learning how to set up a ring or learning how to set up the production or learning how to run the show card or to space it or what match should go where, who should, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a whole lot that goes into wrestling that people don't see that's behind the curtain. It's not even like the in-ring technical structure of it. It's like the setup for the show. It's like, where does the lighting go? Where does the camera go? And things like that. Like, where do we put this segment so that it flows smoothly into the next match? All those types of things. And I feel like learning that type of shit it's invaluable, right? Like, you can't run a show with nobody knowing these things. And the more you know, the more you can help shows run. The more that when you're not booked, people will want to keep you around anyways. And, you know, if you are booked and they don't have the backup, they can literally be like, hey, brother, can you help us out? Can you make the show great again? And at that point, you have the power to be like, hey, man, let me up my rate a little bit. Let me get a little bit more money. If I'm going to help run the whole show, which I've never been opposed to, right? But if you're going to put so much responsibility on me, let that reflect in the envelope that I get. Absolutely. And typically, if you're dealing with a decent promoter, typically that translates, right? But it's never good etiquette to tell anybody what you're making or like walk around like, yeah, I have this one. Because come on, man. You never know what the next guy is or isn't making or does or doesn't know. But that's where, once again, I get into the concept of like passing on information and knowledge so that you don't watch people that you help train or people that you know are hard workers get fucked over just because they're not, you know, they're not wised up. But it also, you know, it's a big part of paying your dues in this business. And a big part of that is, you know, at the first stage is basically just shut up and listen. You know, it's not everybody's favorite thing. It's something that I think sometimes people abuse. But I also think that that's just the nature of the business. And there's nothing wrong with sitting down and listening to people who have vast amount of, I guess, I don't want to say influence or nothing like that, but understanding, right, knowledge. Like even somebody who's been around for a while and doesn't do a whole lot has seen things, right, ideally. They may not have a lot of experience firsthand, but they might have seen when this match happened or when this structure happened. So I think that even a broken clock is right twice a day, right? But that's just how I've always viewed the business is you want to be valuable in all forms.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's awesome, dude. It's incredible that, you know, it's great that you're blessed with that curiosity because I feel like that probably makes it very natural for you. But then as you just gotten older and you get more mature and you're starting to reflect on things, you start to realize that it's not just being valuable to the business, but it's also value to yourself. Because again, like if you have to go through that, who am I at 40 years old? Fuck.
Yeah, brother.
That's a rough one.
Hey, at 40 years old, if you don't have an identity, brother, it might be over.
That's gonna be a rough one.
You know what I mean? Like, it's cool to be Ric Flair, but I don't know if all you have is Ric Flair at 42. You might be doing yourself a disservice. He already exists. What are we fucking doing? You know what I mean? Shout out Ric Flair. But I don't know. In the back of my mind, I always thought that maybe I could be a comedian. Like a comedian of some sort. Like I thought I was better at stand-up when I was younger than I am now. Now I feel like I'm more like dry as fuck with the humor. So it's like, maybe not for stand-up.
It's funny that you bring that up because there was a moment you were talking about how if the fans aren't interacting with you, it's really hard to put on the same kind of show, right? And so it's fantastic that AAPW has the fans that it does, because when you go to the shows, the crowd's always in it. I think there was one show I went to where the crowd was less in it. I think some of the regulars weren't there, and you could tell, right? It's like, it's a little like, me and the boys, we were trying to carry the load because we're like, I get it. I can understand how if they're not playing into it, then it's gonna be really rough. And I could see that being exactly like bombing on stage.
Yeah.
And so that was the immediate connection that I made, because you might have heard us mention it, but I was telling her how I'll be on dad duty until Kill Tony starts. So every Monday night we sit down, we watch Kill Tony live. Like we love it. We love it. And so it's funny that you bring that up, because we had a comedian on a couple weeks ago who's running a fundraiser on November 7th for the library in Gerald. He's actually oddly enough on the you remember what it was, babe? Like the board of the, I don't know. He's on some of the city council for the library, and he's running a fundraiser. It's a stacked lineup of comedians, but that's just immediately where my brain went, where you're like, if the fans aren't interacting, it's gonna be it's a rougher show. It's harder it's harder to get into the groove. Then you really start to see who the professionals are, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh, you start to see the men separating from the boys. Then don't you?
Hey, when you get in that ring, man, and you realize the crowd is not fucking with what you're doing, and you realize you got 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
Yo, how good are you really? Because if you're really good, you'll be able to pivot. Matter of fact, one of the famous examples I could use is they were talking about The Rock and Hogan, right? They were talking about their match at WrestleMania. I think it was 18. And Hogan came in heel, Rock came in babyface, and the crowd just was really fucking with Hulk Hogan. So halfway through the match, they were just like, I guess let's play to what the crowd wants, because at the end of the day, they're the ones who paid that ticket, man. You know what I mean? Like, they're the ones, like, economy tough or not, they're the ones spending those. And now the prices for WWE tickets are crazy, right? But
really, what are they? I've actually never been to
TKO jacked them up recently. So, like, I just know that if WrestleMania last year was like $500,000 or whatever the fuck it was, a couple thousand, I can't imagine what it's going to be in Vegas this year, right? Yeah, they said they were too family friendly or some shit.
It's on ESPN now.
Yeah, you got to pay $40 for that.
I know. I pay for it for the UFC already.
Well, yeah.
But the UFC, now, fucking UFC is moving to Paramount. They're both the same company. I don't know why they didn't sign the same deal, but now ESPN. I'm like, do I keep ESPN to watch WrestleMania
or do
I just go to Paramount? If it's Paramount's $10 a month, dude, I'm spending.
You be spending about $50 just to watch fucking stream wrestling, and that's where it gets crazy, because like, hey man, I get it. This is capitalism. And then we're supposed to capitalize, but holy shit, bro! Like,
ridiculous.
Can we just enjoy wrestling? Like, can we go back to just like, hey, you can't even watch it on YouTube half the time. The copyright strikes and shit. When I was younger, I remember there was a timeline where I'd wait till early in the morning and I'd look up the episode of Raw, and they'd be like the whole 2 hours, and it was somebody, or AEW did this too, and they'd be like on some foreign channel, and it'd get took down in 3 hours. 3 hours later, that shit was gone. But if you had the time, caught that shit, was like, I'd skip through matches I didn't give a shit about. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm good on this, you know what I'm saying? And then I'd watch the main event and be like, I like that spot. And then nowadays, I don't think I can do that anymore, because I think they're on, I want to say they're on HBO. I think I want to say they're on Max.
Yeah.
But,
I'm sure you can find it somewhere.
Yeah, man. I think I have Max, so I'm all right with that. Which one has South Park right now? Is it
Paramount? Yeah, I know, dude. So I'm paying, the UFC is also on a pay-per-view model. right? And so I'm paying for ESPN Plus, like $130 a year, and then $80 every motherfucking pay-per-view. Because, and I know, obviously you can illegally stream it. I get it. I operate under the mindset, unfortunately, I for whatever reason, dude, I've always just been a goody tissue. But the real reason is, outside of like not really there's two main reasons. A, I have illegally streamed it, and it fucking buffers when someone gets knocked out, and then you come back and everyone's cheering and I'm pissed.
Yeah, waste time.
Because I love the UFC, right? That's my shit. And then the second reason is, if I was in that position, I would want a viewer at the house to buy the pay-per-view. Because I'm in that position, I'm putting my body on the line. I want to make as much money as possible, whether that's indirectly or directly, whether it's directly through pay-per-view buys in my contract, or indirectly just more and more exposure, right?
Yeah.
The company makes more money, so hopefully that trickles down. Whether that happens or not, that's up for debate, but that would be my thought process, right? And so, unfortunately, I'm plagued by that, and so I do buy every single pay-per-view. Thankfully, the boys come over, they bring food, it all evens out. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know where the fuck I was going with that.
$80 a month. I mean,
Oh boy. Yeah, and it's every 3 weeks, so
Yeah,
really it's like a
they-
month and a half.
They used to just do like one card, and now it's like UFC. And then do they still do Vegas fight night?
Yeah, so they do. So they do Saturday. So there's a card today, but those are free on ESPN Plus.
Okay.
So you pay for the subscription on ESPN Plus, but what they're moving to, which is why I was mind blowing that wrestling turned around and then signed with ESPN, because ESPN's app is fucking trash comparatively. For as much money as these motherfuckers make, the app should be seamless.
Yeah.
That's just that's what we're paying for. But the ESPN app is and so UFC is moving to Paramount and getting rid of pay-per-views. So it's gonna be $11 a month. They might increase the monthly price maybe like 15 or so. But then I get unlimited
See,
UFC.
WWE's been doing that.
Boom.
They keep what they call it a premium live event. So there's no more pay per view, but you pay. What it used to be is you pay for WWE.com, WWE subscription, right? And then you'd be able to watch all the pay per views, all the archived shit, interviews, road shows, animated shorts, originals. All that shit for, I think it was like $19. I think it was $10 original WWE. Don't quote me on that, right? But it was so cheap. Then they took it off the app because it was always on Hulu, right? But it was next day shit. Then it was like a week later, whatever. They took it off of the app. Where did they put it next? They put it on Netflix for Raw. They put Raw on Netflix. And apparently that's not doing too good. But I don't know. I'm not a numbers guy with big promotions. But from what I heard, that first episode, wonderful. Everything since then, not so much.
Interesting. But also wrestling's been in a weird spot for a while.
But
Because
I'll say
the
this.
90s were so fucking good.
The 90s.
The late 90s, early 2000s.
Watch back the action from the
Early
90s, man.
2000s,
Is just
that's what I'm saying.
But I will say this, like, we've been in like a bit of a renaissance, right? Like, because there was that timeline where, and people called the John Cena timeline, where he was just like the only thing people saw. And then TNA was cool, and then it fell apart. And then nobody was really watching Japan. Nobody's really watching too much Mexican wrestling. But there was a time recently where they went to, and everybody's like, always dickies this timeline. It's like, oh man, they want to wrestle like they did back in 2016 NXT, bro. And it's really okay. So MMA, right? It's from Japan, right? Like Puro Rosso was the Ken Shamrock and those guys, right? Like they did that whole tournament.
Yeah, Pride.
And it was like, was it real or was it not? And then the Gracies said, well, what if we did a demonstration of our style?
Yeah.
And they were the only guys that got to wear their traditional fight gear, but whatever, right? We're gonna move past that, right? But in that timeline, right, like a lot of motherfuckers in Japan started calling them things, bro. Out there shoot fighting, and that's what it was. And then Antonio Inoki, at one point, blended wrestling with like real MMA fighters, and it was terrible. Terrible. They beat the shit out of those guys. It's terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it wasn't a good job. But there's also guys in Japan who have that type of background now, right? And they wrestle. They have MMA backgrounds. There's like this guy, Katsuyori Shibata. Love me some Shibata, bro. Hey, we've been joking, like, me and some of the guys will get Shibata season and hopefully you have to suffer that, right? But that dude really got in there and put belt to ass, bro. But it made it, that's the kind of wrestling that you watch and like, them guys really in there trying to kill each other. And I feel like that's something that I've always been able to enjoy and appreciate because, like, with MMA, man, I love a good knockout. Like, I watched back in Prime McGregor before it all went bad. I remember Conor with the cornrows, right? Like, I remember Conor with the little gorilla chest and the white, And he came in there and he finished that man so quick, and then he did Jose Aldo disturbingly crazy to the point where, hey, we're wrestling fans were like, I don't know, I know a wrestler when I see it, brother. And I was like, yo, they did give him a really strong media run, and he had really good title opportunities, right? That other people weren't getting at that time. But I think that was the closest I think UFC and WWE ever got since the inception of, mixed martial arts and then wrestling being distinctly divided, because you can't Ken Shamrock, hell of a fighter, hell of an athlete, but he did not have that kind of career. Right?
Yeah, like, you see it go the other way, like CM Punk coming over to the UFC and getting
Punk and Phil did not do great. Brock did great. Brock did very
Brock
good.
is a specimen. Boy.
Some things are just what they are, bro. And I know he's going through a legal case, so I'm not going to get too deep into the Brock Lesnar vortex, but the way that he handled himself after that Frank Mir loss, and he just locked in and just started killing. Like, he didn't try to play nobody else's strengths. He knew what he could do. Plus, but Brock's a collegiate wrestler. Like, Brock is
an All-American.
Yeah, he's really that thing, bro. So, but then you have other guys. Yeah, crazy size.
How do you stop that, bro? We talked about this.
You get a guy like Cain Velasquez. That's how you stop that. It's the only way you stop that.
Prime Cain was different. A heavyweight with that kind of cardio is illegal.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure in like some countries that's
What do you mean he's still going, bro?
Yeah, it didn't make no sense.
No, I liked recently when I was I'm trying to think of the most recent timeline of fighters that I was watching. I really liked the Khabib run.
Yep.
Because people always say, well, he was fighting, tomato cans, and then he fought some top guys, beat Conor, got the belt, fought like 3 top guys.
What he did to Conor it's still.
I base a lot of my mentality off that. You're here for money, bro. I'm here for legacy.
Dude, when he's standing in front of the Irish crowd, and he looks at them and says, "Tomorrow, I smash your boy." Bruh. And then came in the next day.
Alhamdulillah. Dude. I say it because it makes you mad.
Bruh. Held Conor down and said, "Let's talk now, bitch." As punching him in, like.
Let's talk now.
I know people love to boo when UFC fights go to the ground. And I'm biased because I grapple, so I understand what the fuck's going on. But if you do not understand what it's like to hold another man down against his will, punch him in the face, and talk shit at the same time, if you do not understand how gangster that is.
That's nirvana. That's true happiness, bro. When you got a man at your will, and like, I don't want to say he just gave up, right? But he's trying. But you can feel it.
Trying,
but you can feel it. It's like, he ain't got. If I want this arm, I'll take this arm. And then he's wide open to see it. And then the way he had his chin crooked.
Oh my God!
Thank God they stopped it. Trying to finish him, bro.
He was trying to break his jaw. He was not.
He was never going to talk again, bro. He was never going to talk again. I've seen the choke before. He was never going to talk again.
And then to jump the cage
and start squabbling with it. He said, "Hey, Dylan Dan's got one highlight off that, and it's the fact that he swung at Khabib. Nothing good happened for him after that." And then Khabib said, "All right, I'm gone. I'm gonna go eat tiramisu."
And I'm out.
And now he's got Islam in there. Just he had like one loss. It was a crazy loss when he got punched out.
He did. Yes, he lost early in his career.
Yep, early on, and then I think him and Volkanovski had a tie the first time.
No, they didn't tie. Islam won 3 rounds to 2. A lot of people could argue that
because Islam wasn't standing on his own at the end of that, was he?
Dude, so that fight was crazy because Islam is a fantastic wrestler, and Volkanovski is as well. But what Volk did in that fight, to be able to stop the wrestling, stop him from holding him down. I don't know if you watched last weekend Merab versus Corey Sandhagen.
Nice.
It's a very similar kind of style, right? Whereas Corey Sandhagen is very similar to like a Sugar Sean O'Malley. He's a lengthy 135,
striker,
very good striker. But he can grab his ass off, but people forget because his striking's so good. Merab is Merab. He's just got an unlimited gas tank. People thought it was impossible to be able to go 5-minute rounds, full speed, until Merab. And now people are rethinking everything. It's a paradigm shift now because now they're like, oh, if he's, again, it goes back to showing people, right? Before Merab, people legitimately thought it was impossible to be able to do 5-minute rounds, full speed. Because no one had ever done it before.
Yeah.
Merab comes in and does it fight after fight after fight. The pace he keeps on people for 25 minutes is unheard of. It's unparalleled. And now people are like, oh shit, it is possible. I just gotta work a little harder.
Yeah.
So again, it goes back to what we were talking about. People see it now, they think it's attainable. Now we're gonna see it more and more. There's gonna be more fighters who strive for that.
Yeah.
And Corey Sandhagen, to his credit, he ended up losing the fight. But to his credit, dude, he never let Merab hold him down on the ground for more than maybe 2 minutes of total control, and it was in the 5th round. That man, every part of his will stood up every single time Merab took him down. Merab took him down probably 20 times. He would just get right back up every single time. And it was just, people say, people go back and forth. Is there a moral victory? Is there not? Boy, that's a moral victory. What he did, what he was able to do, should give him confidence that, oh no, I think I could beat him potentially, right? And I mean, with Khabib, dude, and now Islam versus Ilia Topuria. I cannot wait. Ilia Topuria is, in my opinion,
It might be the closest man to beat him.
well, in my opinion, I think Ilia Topuria is what the next generation fighters look like, where they have 0 gaps in their game. So obviously when the UFC first started, it was specialists, and then it slowly became, okay, I got boxing and wrestling. Okay, I have jiu-jitsu and boxing or kickboxing.
A little bit more
and,
time.
now I got 2 things, right? Ilia Topuria can do everything really well.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the next generation of fighters look like. To your point earlier, talking about people starting young, I rolled with a kid just last night, dude. His name was Rome. Shout out. That man had been training since he was 9 years old doing jiu-jitsu. So now he's 23, so he's got about, that's what, I think he said in total 10 years because he took 2 years off. Bro, that man fucked me up. It just felt like he was stuck to the mat. His base was incredible. He was unsweepable. You weren't entering on the legs because you couldn't knock him off balance. He was just glued to the mat. And that just goes from, that's starting at 9, the way your body develops is different than at 10 years if you started at 21.
Yeah.
You're bendier. You understand, like, your body has now, it is adapted to that sport entirely. And he's just fucking good. And Ilia Topuria he's knocked out all my favorite fighters.
He's the one that did Charles crazy, wasn't it?
Bro, crazy dude. And I don't even hate the man. That's how good he is, right? He's knocked out all my favorite guys: Max Holloway, Volkanovski, fucking Charles Oliveira. Knocked them all smooth out. And I don't even hate him.
Nah.
That's how good he is, because he is. Well, for one, like, I listened to his podcast. He did an episode with Joe Rogan, and you listen to this man talk, and you realize the intention behind every single thing he does. He's absolutely obsessed. He's very humble. He has a training style that I believe is going to be the future of MMA. Inside fight camp, he's working on all his skills and bringing them together, and he's doing more MMA practices. Outside of fight camp, he's taking boxing class, jiu-jitsu class, kickboxing class. He's doing them individually and sharpening those skills individually. And then in fight camp, that's his 3 months there to glue it all together. And I think that this is going to be the future. Right now, a lot of people, when they're training MMA, they're just doing MMA. And then they have gaps. Their jiu-jitsu, there's a lot of guys that fight at high level MMA whose jiu-jitsu is not very good. You get them on the ground, you get them in precarious positions, they are not good. Like you see it in like Bellator, one championship, and you're like, damn, dude, they really made it far in their career. They just have
with
really
bare minimum
bare minimum grappling, and I believe that's because they're just training MMA as a whole. And you know, if you're the best guy in the gym, there's going to be certain situations that you just don't put in very often, right? And I think the way that Ilia Topuria is going about it, and the way that he talks about it, where he's training specific techniques outside of camp and sharpening those individually and then bringing them all together, I believe that's the future of MMA.
Yeah.
And I believe what he is as a fighter is just a sneak peek of what the next generation is going to look like, where just every fight is just, it doesn't matter where it goes, they're going to be we're just going to see incredible battles. Like it's just going to be awesome, dude, right?
Hell yeah.
And you were mentioning wrestlers who have, you know, some MMA background and then they're transitioning to wrestling. I feel like with watching Dayton make this transition, I feel like there's something about having a applicable background, real life fighting, and then moving into wrestling. I feel like the way, if you can blend it correctly, I feel like the match itself can look more lifelike because you have the actual training. You know how to actually throw a punch. You know how to actually shoot a double leg. You know how to actually do a suplex and these things. And then when you blend that in with the entertainment aspect, I feel like that makes wrestling better. What are your thoughts?
I definitely agree. I think that there's people who, and now the hard part though is like learning how to apply this skill that you've learned to master, right? How to make it weave believably into this blanket that you're fucking sewing. Because at the end of the day, if you know how to do, I mean, you see the Rajah Jackson incident, right?
Yeah, totally.
Hey man, if you take some of that and you, this may sound crazy to some people, but you clean some of that up, it's not terrible.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, I mean, the intention behind his was completely to destroy, but like there's a way you could take that if you're a wrestler of that caliber. Like,
I see.
And you could take do exactly what you said and make it where like this is a standout technique for you.
Yeah.
You know, with that type of style, having a very explosive nature. Because like that's something a lot of people in wrestling I think they overlook is like, you know, wrestling can be really explosive, even if there's a lot of grappling, and you know what I'm saying. And I think it's, you know, it's almost like a sisterhood to like the jiu-jitsu, like when they work the arm and shit. It's, you know, it's all done in the wrestling way, but it's like if you're really good at jiu-jitsu, it would stand to reason that your ability to commit to submissions and technical wrestling and to invent and innovate different holds, it'd be better than the average man, right? So like with somebody who would know like Muay Thai, right? I imagine your knee strike probably look a lot better than everybody else's shit. If you're a kickboxer, I imagine you could probably throw a really good head kick, right? So if you learn how to do the right things, because there's some shit that you learn, I'd imagine, right? That just doesn't really work as well, right? And even though it's really effective and it might be your favorite thing to do in a fight, it may not be the thing that looks the best, right? Because we're trying to make sure that everybody can see it. One thing about wrestling, you want to work in a way that if you're in the stadium, the people in the cheap seats still get their money's worth. So when they're watching you and they're like, what's going on? Okay, he clearly is throwing the kick, throwing the punch, and then now how can you make that translate to what you did in the world of mixed martial arts or kickboxing or whatever, to where not only does it feel like you're still using that technique, but it feels like it's committing damage versus like, oh, he's just doing the technique.
Is that something that you're seeing becoming more popular, where guys who, they want to be wrestlers, they're not, it's not like they're inspiring to be MMA fighters and they're doing wrestling on the side. Like I'm saying, like they want to be wrestlers. Are you seeing more and more people go and do training on their own just to kind of make the look better and cleaner, to your point? And is this something that you would recommend to a young wrestler who's trying to come up to do it, dabble in a little bit, learn some proper techniques so that way when you get into the ring, you can blend the entertainment aspect and make it look as real as possible?
I think if you have a natural background, like Dayton had his background, I feel like if you have that, you should always keep that in your back pocket. And you should always be ready to apply that. For young wrestlers, I feel like it's very important to understand the basics of wrestling. But I do think that there's gonna come a point in your career where you're gonna finish your training at your school and or at least the curriculum, right? And you may stall out. You may be like, okay, well, I've gone to all these different schools and I don't really know what to do next. And yes, to that point, I do agree. At that point, but like this, if you're a wrestler who throws strikes and you have a gym down the road that can teach you a really good head kick, I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice to not provide that to your repertoire. Because, I mean, why would you go to throw a half-assed great head kick, right? Like I heard somebody once say, don't fear the man who throws 1,000 kicks one time, but the man who throws 1 kick 1,000 times.
Bruce Lee quote.
Yeah, okay. So I feel like if it's good enough for Bruce, it's good enough for everybody. But also at the same time, like Dayton said, drillers make killers, man. And if you have a head kick that you can drill and make fucking just look amazing, right? And you have all the tools available to you to do that. Why would you not do that? And like I said, with jiu-jitsu, there's wrestlers now that definitely go out and they train in other stuff, on the sidelines. Whether it be for different cardio, different insight, or just for the fact of like I said, innovating and bringing it to the arena. I'm definitely in favor of doing those types of things because it's no different than going to the gym and working on your body. With the way the wrestling moves, it's always the same. Like wrestling hasn't changed, but it is definitely more open now. So a lot of different styles are in, and there's people who could probably profess in a different style of wrestling and make a whole alter to their character, and it would take them to the next level. And I think a lot of that does lie in combat sports actually being applied and learned and understood. So yeah, I would definitely say do it.
Yeah, something I've just been noticing, meeting more and more of y'all, I've noticed that there are a handful of people who are training outside of wrestling. Mm-hmm. They're doing combat sports. Again, in aspiration to be a wrestler and to continue wrestling, but you can see it starting to apply. I could imagine, like jiu-jitsu in particular, right? If you know how to apply that submission to breaking point, you can make it look as real as possible, but you know that you're not going to actually hurt that person.
Yeah.
Right? And I can see how that could have benefits for the audience and for the training partner, right?
Yeah.
Something we've talked about before is bad training partners. You came here with teeth, dog.
Yeah. I came to Texas with my teeth in my mouth. You could actually, I got footage. I got old footage. I'm gonna drop it. It was like back when I was a youngster training, and I got all my teeth. I don't now, and that comes from, and I put myself in this position because I want to help train with people who are sometimes a little less safe to train with, but how else does one get better if nobody's willing to step up and take the lick, right? I just wish I didn't have to take it to the teeth every time, you know what I'm saying? That'd be a lot cooler. But no, like you said, there's places, you can go to get trained up. I think one place that a good buddy of mine that I met through the school, he left, but he did, he does still do jiu-jitsu. I think it's Village of Wolves. I want to say he said Cedar Park. It's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu place. He goes out there, and I mean, if it's good enough for him, I'd say maybe check it out, right? And then there's also in the valley, like down in I think Mission Hill, some shit like that. It's Combat Sports Institute with Chris Ponce, and those guys also work in close cohesion with Combat Cult, where in fact tomorrow, on the 12th, one of my tag team partners, Mokele, will be down there having a match. It's a 5-hour drive to McAllen. I love making the trip. I love the valley. I love wrestling down there. But when I don't have to drive 5 hours, I'm staying my ass at home, brother. I'm staying at home. I just moved to Austin, in fact, from Gerald. Because I lived in Austin, but when I say Austin, I mean like surrounding Austin. But yeah, I lived in Gerald, and I was like, man, that ain't shit out here. So I moved to Austin.
It's drive.
Yeah. 40, like from the school, it's 40 to an hour every night. Yep. And that's an extra hour that I gotta, wait to get there and back. So I didn't like that no more. But I think when these guys who, like I said, the combat cult guys, them working with Chris Ponson and down there, that opens the door for them to up their grappling game, right? Like, so now you will eventually see more wrestlers cross over, and you might see more MMA stars, cross over to the other side, because besides Brock Lesnar, there's guys like Matt Riddle, Bobby Lashley. He was a wrestler first, but then he went and did MMA for a little bit, came back. We could go prehistoric. We could go Ken Shamrock. Kurt Angle was a collegiate wrestler, not collegiate, Olympic
wrestler.
Olympic gold medalist with a broken freaking neck. Can't beat that, folks. You can't beat Kurt. Then there's like Shelton Benjamin. There's a lot of guys who have legitimate, training in the field where, like, I've heard somebody say before, probably the most effective base in UFC is or in MMA in general is wrestling. Like,
of course. Yeah.
And I've never heard it be denied. Those guys, hey man, I saw a video of dudes doing shooting drills, just how to shoot in. And they look like little gorillas, man. And I'm like, it's crazy because
practically just gliding on their knees.
Yeah, bro. They just fucking slide in and then take you. And that's one thing I wish we had in Mississippi was just school wrestling. They didn't have none of that shit there. No, not when I was there.
Interesting.
We have tennis.
The fuck?
We play baseball, tennis, basketball, football, swimming for some fucking reason.
And no wrestling.
No wrestling.
That's a
wrestling.
major disservice.
Yeah.
Dude, I try not to regret things in life. Not wrestling is one of them.
Yeah.
Just wrestlers are different.
The way they throw shit, bro. The way they come in, ham hock neck, just confident that I'm gonna do it to you. It's
because they know, dude. As a striker with jiu-jitsu experience, I know I have a moment, right? If we're this far apart, I know, hit you with a straight kick, I can chop you in the leg, I can punch you. But I also know if they connect their hands, if their hands clasp, and you feel it under your butt cheeks, and then fucking boom, and you feel that S grip or that gable grip clicking, it's gonna be a long fucking night, boys. You have to know how to, at MMA now, boxing. If you have incredible boxing and incredible wrestling, you can go very far in MMA.
Yeah, for sure. I remember Kimbo Slice, rest his soul, not a wrestler.
No.
Not a wrestler. And every time he got put in there with somebody who could wrestle, it was terrible. I was in alternative school. Yeah, Big Country Roy Nelson. Jeez.
That was a bad one, bro.
You know what was sad? When Seth Petrozelli put him to sleep, man. I was upset about that. I was like, Kimbo, you look like you ate that guy before you walked.
Which is crazy because you watch Kimbo do those backyard fights and he's just fucking murdering.
I was in alternative school back then when they had Kimbo knocking that dude's eye out. I said, good Lord, Kimbo.
And then you see him going in with trained professionals.
And it's different.
It should be a reminder to every single person because there's people who look at I have pro grappler friends, I got pro MMA guys. I know people look at their Instagrams and go, I think I still could.
Yeah, I think it takes.
You're fucking delusional.
You're crazy.
You're
listen,
bro.
These people eat, sleep, and breathe competitive fucking fighting.
Dude.
If you're not, I saw a clip of Khabib one time talking to somebody who was like, "Hey, what advice do you have for me to start MMA?" He's like, "You should have started earlier." Yeah. This ain't no shit that you start worn and torn, bro.
Yeah, I did, unfortunately. I have. Yeah.
Hey, I respect it all the more, bro. All the more. But it's one of those things you feel it. You know what I mean? You're talking.
27.
Yeah.
It's rough, bro.
I started wrestling at 29, bro, and even that, my shoulder will never be the same, bro. Yeah. I'll never smile confidently at the holes again, bro. It's over until I get dentures.
Yeah, and then boy.
Ooh. Nah, but it's you gotta respect it, and and to see people who think that's like people think they can take a bear. It's like you think you could fight a bear.
Legit.
That's.
They do. That's crazy. I say it all the time, dude. If I had that level of delusion, I would be unstoppable.
Bro, if I was that level of insane, I'll tell you right now.
Unstoppable.
I would be a criminal mastermind.
Yeah, bro, unstoppable.
I'd be the Joker, bro, because how could you not? What's keeping you in your normal life?
The fact that they're not. The fact that they're not, that their skills do not match the delusion. That's the only thing. Because if my skills match, if I had that level of delusion with the level of skills that my buddies have, that the people I know have, if they had that same level of delusion, it'd be over for everyone.
Yeah, everybody be uncomfortable. Everybody be
That's why Ilya Tapoya is special, because Ilya Tapoya has a level of confidence that is, I mean, a lot of fighters are confident people, but Ilya Tapoya talks in a way where he's not convincing anybody. He's just telling you what's happening.
He knows.
And it's crazy.
It's that Khabib, I'm gonna smash your boy.
Yes, it's exactly right. Like people, you could take that clip out of context and be like, oh, what a cocky dude. No. He just knew. He knew who he was about to walk in the cage with. He had probably studied every single ounce of that man. Knew that again, if those hands went bye-byes, it was just, like that's just. He just knew because he knew the work that he put in, bro. He knew what he was, right? And so when those two things collide, man, those are unstoppable forces.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. And people just look at and then vice versa. People probably look at y'all's Instagram and be like, oh, I can do that. And I think it goes back to the parallels between fighting and pro wrestling. I think out of anybody, I think fighters respect y'all the most because we understand what the fuck is going on in there, the damage y'all are taking. Y'all do matches way more frequently than we would fight. Y'all do, I will never forget The Undertaker coming on Joe Rogan, talking about how he did 7 years of 365s.
Mm-hmm. Them old school days, scary as hell, bro.
It's one of those things we talked about. We talked about in this last episode. The universe is 14 billion years old. That means fucking nothing, right? That means nothing to you. You can't fathom it, right? I would put what he said in that same grouping. I cannot fathom 7 years of 365s.
Sounds like a nightmare. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's gotta be insane, bro.
Hey, I had a match just last Saturday. It's against this kid, Bull Madrid. Shout out to the little motherfucker.
Oh, yeah,
bro, we just went in there and threw bows. And I woke up the next day and my knee kind of hurt.
You were like, fuck.
Yeah, bro. And then I had to go wrestle again in San Antonio. And I was like, oh, I'm going to limp through this match. And I'm going to hope that we don't have a lot of time to do a lot of shit because, it's one of those things that you're going to commit to. You're going to do your shit, right? You're going to limp all the way there. You're going to limp till you hit your music hits and you hit the curtain and you just got to suck it up. But, the amount of damage that I've seen, there's a guy, Primetime, right? Back when he was around the first time, there's a clip of him on Botchamania where this guy he was in the ring with vomited. And, yeah, real shit, vomited all over the ring. And, Primetime ran after him when he was outside by the trash can, slipped on his vomit. He already had a fucked up shoulder, blew his shoulder back out. Off some bullshit. And had to finish the match, but was injured, was out for I think 6 months after that. And it's one of those things, the shit can happen so out of nowhere, bro. You think it's all good, you're just wrestling and nothing crazy gonna happen, and then you fucking go out there and you slip on some absolutely unplanned shit. And I think those are the types of things that people don't account for, but I think we all can kind of appreciate, man, when you're already in such a tense physical state, right? Because you have to work your ass off to wrestle or to be in fights, brother. You have the weight cuts, the camps, little things going awry. And not even planned things, fuck up your whole career, man. Fuck up your whole season, everything. And that's why I think we're very appreciative that we do get to do it so consistently, right? Because Luckily, y'all are in the cage mostly, where it's like, you know, they're not having to run around the outside where dumb shit happens because motherfucker, you threw up and you ran through it. You knew better than that, man.
But on a banana peel.
Yeah, that's the banana peel asphalt. But at the same time, it's you know, it's definitely one of the risks that comes with it. But it's why we limp through the next day, and then you know we're just appreciative that we get to do it every time. But yeah, no, I think between the two, out of most people that I talk to, like sport wise, I think it's combat athletes that understand because like I was talking to in Mississippi, like Jordan and a lot of the guys there. And it's weird because, you know, they'd be the number one people you think wouldn't show you the love, but they're like, man, I love what you do on that wrestling stuff, man. I'm like,
yeah. Well, two aspects, right? We understand, like, you see the blows and you're like, you can only fake so much of that. You can only pull off of it so much. Dude, there was one high kick that hit somebody in the jaw at AAPW, and you heard it. And I was like, I know exactly what that sound is.
Yeah.
That was heel hitting jaw. That was bone on bone contact. You can't, like, that hurts.
Yeah.
Regardless. Like, it doesn't matter if he pulled it, if it wasn't 100%.
That shit sucks.
Heel hit your jaw. That shit still sucks, right? And so we look at it and we're like, oh no, we 100% understand. We get it for sure, right? And then the second aspect is just like, it's just I forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. Fucking just like we understand the punishment, and we brought it up in Dayton's episode. They threw Nick Foley off of a cage, dog.
Hey, off of it and then threw it. Off of it, then threw it. Mick Foley, listen, I saw hardcore matches with Mick Foley when I was a kid, and then I saw him when I was like a teenager. One of my favorite ones was Cactus Jack versus Randy Orton, and he took RKO to the barbed wire match, but that wasn't the crazy part. Randy Orton in his fucking spandex, right? Nothing but a fucking crop top t-shirt. Mick Foley takes the crop top off of him, and he goes for his finisher, which is the cutter. He shoves him off. Bed of thumbtacks. Lands in and looks like a pincushion when he gets up. Just fucking thumbtacks all through his back. And I'm just like...
Knowing someone had to go and...
One by one. Because he didn't have his shirt on. Because if he had his shirt on, he could have just did a quick pull, right? Yeah. Which still sucks. Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know, man. Hardcore matches are fun, though. Like, I've had a couple of them. We've done no-ringers, too, which is like basically just a barroom brawl. My partner Mo Kelly has gotten stabbed in the head with skewers, like you know, like the shish kebab things they get at Walmart, the little wooden ones. They fucking looks like hell. Yeah.
Bro, y'all are wilding for that. Like, as a like I only have 3 Muay Thai fights, right? I'm not sitting here like I'm just proclaimed like I fight all the time, right? But as someone who has done the damn thing and I got in there. Y'all are wilding for that.
Hey, bro.
Fuck every little bit of that. There is no way in hell. Hey. They were showing me some of that shit, and I was like, no.
Listen, I got a good buddy, Dmitry Alexandrov. Was one of my first wrestling matches that wasn't a student at AAPW. Actually, my first wrestling match wasn't a student, but it was at AAPW. Dmitry Alexandrov, they call him Deathmatch Jesus, and when I tell you this motherfucker here, bro, light tubes, barbed wire, scissors, syringes. Yo, I seen somebody stick his hand to the mat, and with the webbing of his fingers, they took a syringe needle and just jammed that shit right in there. I seen him hit him in the cheek with it. Guys like Sky De La Cremosa, even Brick Savage. My boy Matlock, I'm tag team partners with Matlock down in Waco. Matlock's the one I was telling you earlier about. Goes viral just for yelling at babies, bro. He just farms over. But we gotta, if we can pull up Instagram one more time, that's the one. But like Matlock is a wild man, bro. When I first met him, like I say about a year and some change ago. He was already doing death matches, and like guys who do death matches have these crazy backs and crazy scars where it's like I got hit here with a trash can, and it split my head open, and that was with me and Dimitri, but that wasn't near as bad as like
it's just a trash can.
Yeah, a trash can lid. Oh no, a trash can.
Barbed wire, fucking.
You know what a gusset plate is?
Huh?
You know what a gusset plate is?
I don't.
Okay, so gusset plate is like it's a little plate of metal. It's got these ridges, these barbs up, right? And it's used for like wood. Like you hammer it in the wood to like connect it. And they'll fucking. And it's, yo, Matlock got hit in the back with a gusset board. It was a board of gusset plates. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, to the forehead.
Y'all, like, wrestling is already crazy enough. What inspires or drives these guys to do this shit?
That shit, there it is. That shit to the forehead. You got me fucked up.
Why?
Hey, I wish I had an answer. It's love of the game, baby. Love of the game.
But we can just hit each other with steel chairs on the back where we're not getting slit or cut open, dude. You can just hit me with a chair. I'm all for that, dude. You hit me with a chair, cool. Throw me into the table, cool. All right,
bro. Flaming tables. We need barbed wire. Yo, Japan goes crazy with it, bro. There was I think it was Frontier Pro Wrestling. It's they have a barbed wire exploding death match. There's like Mick Foley used to wrestle with Terry Funk and that type of shit.
Excuse me.
Barbed wire ring, and then the ring will explode. It's a death match. You just killing each other in there with whatever you got, right? Like you can get a branding iron.
What part of the ring explodes?
Ring.
The ring.
Like
where are you when the ring explodes?
In the ring.
Dog, what?
Shrapnel?
Oh. Like it doesn't like entirely explode. Obviously, right? The ring's still there, but like you have to look it up. It's they've done a terrible one at AEW that just didn't go good. It's historically bad. And then there's the ones with like Terry Funk and Mick Foley with barbed wire with death match. And the fucking ring explodes and there's barbed wire with blood everywhere. It's fucking crazy, bro. And I'm good on that too, man. I'm good on that.
Oh, hold on, we gotta pull this up in Matlock. Yelling at babies because that's hilarious.
You gotta log into your Google Premium or YouTube Premium.
Oh yeah, that's actually
so we don't
smart.
get the
Yeah, that's a good call out.
Is that what you're talking about? Or if it'll load, it's
well, that's gonna be an episode talking about it. You just gotta look for a clip of it.
It's playing for me. I don't know why the TV's hold, please. Technical difficulties.
Damn, bruh. We gotta find that damn. We'll come back to that in a second. We gotta find that damn Google Chromecast. That was one thing on my list that I completely forgot. So that shit doesn't happen no more.
Hell yeah.
Anyways,
There it is.
okay, here we go.
So it showed it at the very beginning.
Damn, bro, I didn't know Japanese men got that big.
Yeah, hey.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, there it is. FMW. I knew I said it wrong.
For those who can't see the TV right now, we are watching people get thrown into barbed wire and the ring exploded and they're in the ring, y'all. Like, what the? Hey.
Japanese wrestling, bro.
Nah, dude. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm good on all of that, man. Look, I respect the hell out of that because I'm not doing it.
Hey.
That's terrifying.
Hell no, I'll sit my happy ass right here, bro. And I will watch on no, actually, I don't even know. I watch all that, bro. Some of it's hard to watch. There's some MMA fights that I can't even watch sometimes. I mean,
I just asked him if he.
No, but like they get
watching it, and I'm like, God.
Who was that guy? Rory. When Rory got busted open in that long ass fight, who was he with?
So they just asked this man if they were shown where the explosives were going to be going off in the ring beforehand, and he said no.
Terry motherfucking Funk.
So they went in not knowing where these bombs were, and they could have just been right on top of them. That's wild.
That's a hard motherfucker right there. Rest in peace, Terry Funk.
That's crazy.
The barbed wire ropes I'm already done there. I'm already done.
Yeah, right? Like, why?
I'm already
that
done.
That sounds awful, bro.
Hey, I like hardcore matches when I like hardcore matches, but if you ask me if I'm about to be out here getting blown up and cut up,
dude.
On the casual,
what
got it, bro. You got it. I don't want it, bro.
It looks like it's electrocuted too.
That's I think that's
Your
what I
whole
mean.
body can feel the cheers. No, dude, your whole body is feeling the electricity going through the barbed wire, dog. It has nothing to do with people in the stands. You would feel the same.
My bad.
You
I
would
felt like
feel the same,
I'm
bro.
a god.
What?
Hey, how could you not, bro?
I mean, yeah.
Look at the ref.
The adrenaline
dude.
rush, man.
I guess this is one of those things. Don't knock it till you try it.
You know what, man?
I'll knock this. That's fine.
Certain things I'm not gonna try. I respect the hell out of it though.
Yes.
I
ain't doing it.
30
That's
seconds, get out of the ring, brother.
That's crazy.
You
Well,
better
there's
run.
a high spike right here. Let's see what's going on.
5, 4, 3. No, sir. You got
I mean,
Breathing
shit,
in
dude.
that fumes
You
too.
definitely probably leave that place feeling like a legend. That's for sure.
it. Yeah, nah, I don't know if anything can replicate that, but I'm not looking for it in the first place. So they got it, man. I say that 10 years from now, I'm in the barbed wire death match. Play this clip back, bro. Play this clip
They're
back.
like, hey, look, you know how you were talking about that envelope and how fat it is? I got 500 G's right here in this envelope. But here's the catch. There's gonna be barbed wire, electric fences as the ropes. And the ring, it's gonna explode. Oh, and the timer, it don't exist. The ring's just gonna randomly explode.
And you know what, bro? You know what? Sign me up. Sign me up today. $500,000, I'm going.
Would you do it for 500K?
Dude, really the hard part to wrap your mind around, it really is the barbed wire ropes.
Because there's no escaping. Like, if you could avoid everything else, like, all it takes is... Because, like, the thing about a wrestling ring is, like, as long as they look, they're not... Like, they're big, but they're not that big. Like, you can clear a wrestling ring in, like, 3-4 steps.
Yeah.
That means if you push me hard and I take one step back, and we're on the 3rd to 4th, like, segment, I'm right there.
Yeah.
And how tough do I have to touch them before they start sparking? So maybe we don't do that, right? Maybe we just do like...
Can we have a match in the center of the ring only?
Yeah, bro. I'll tell you what, take the ropes off instead. I'd rather wrestle like that, which that's another thing. Bloodsport, Josh Barnett. They do that out there. And Texas has a version of that we do. It's called Grapple Quest, but we haven't done one, I think, in a while. But we were doing that, and it was kind of like its own version of a little blood sport out here, which was really cool when it was happening. I was hoping that we could do more of that. But I'd take that over that. Not to knock it. Hey, people who were doing barbed wire death matches, keep doing your thing. Not for me.
You have to enjoy pain.
Yeah.
At a different level.
Or you just don't feel it, man. You just that guy.
Apparently there is what's the name of that disease that you
You
legitimately
don't feel pain?
Yeah, you cannot
Oh,
feel
your nerve
pain.
endings are like stunted, ain't it?
Well, I mean, no, like there's I might be blowing smoke at my eyes right now, but
No, it's a legitimate
I'm pretty
thing.
sure there's a legitimate quote unquote disorder where you can't feel pain.
That's hard.
Yeah, there was I think it's like very but there-
CIP.
what is it?
CIP, congenital insensitivity to pain.
I'm not even gonna try to
Or
repeat that.
anal
Oh, there
gasia.
it is. You said what about anal?
Anal gasia.
Anal.
Also
gasia?
known as anal gasia.
That's an insane
Where
name.
the fuck you see that at?
Literally in the highlighted
yeah,
part.
that does say anal gasia. Yeah, okay.
Ah,
Congenital insensitivity. CIP.
to pain.
That would be so weird. I'm pretty sure that was what were we watching where there was somebody that had that?
We watch a lot of things. I don't remember.
There was something we were watching where the bad character, like the bad guy in the movie or show, had this.
Oh, it was Sherlock.
Sherlock. Yeah.
Oh shit.
BBC Sherlock.
Yeah, it was good. I didn't even know it was a real thing, and then looked it up, and it is. But so how many different promotions have you competed for roughly?
Shit. You know what? I'm gonna try to count them. So most recently I was at United 210, which is where I got this lovely shirt at from Pushing Up Daisies, and it was from Sarah with Pushing Up Daisies, who does the merch there. It wasn't from United 210, but I was there as the battle of the podcast. But she didn't have a podcast, so I came in and interjected myself, and we kicked ass and we took home the belt. But so there's United 210. There's I have worked in the past at Inspire AD. I have worked at All Fury Pro Wrestling. I've worked at, of course, AAPW. I've worked at Baracho Pro, where I'm currently the champion. Heart of Texas Wrestling, where I'm currently the champion. Blackbird Pro Wrestling, where I'm currently the champion of the tag team division in all of these places. Savage Wrestling Alliance. Matt War Pro, which is going to be next Friday in Fort Worth. Love Matt War Pro. Love all these places. Love all these places. What else was it? I worked a match at Innovate in Tennessee as Kingsport. I've also worked at, I'm gonna forget one of these places. I'm gonna feel terrible.
You set yourself up for that. You're committed now, though.
Got to. Laredo Wrestling Alliance, Combat Cold Wrestling, Pudo Lucha Pro, shit. You know what, man?
Damn. There's probably one or two. We apologize.
Hey, guys. You know.
So you're like 15, 16?
Yeah. Oh, Death in the Family. I love Death in the Family. Death in the Family is awesome too, man. It's great working there. I've gotten to be at a lot of places. Pro Wrestling Legacy in El Paso. I've gotten to be at a lot of places. Sometimes I'm there just because, like, I've been able to ride with people to different venues, and through that, been able to talk myself into, being at some promotions and, basically doing what is typically done with wrestling, which is go meet the promoter, shake hands, talk about possible future opportunities. And for the most part, man, I feel like it's working out in my favor. There's always places, that sometimes feel unattainable, but at the same time, the goal isn't to be at every single place, is to be at every place that celebrates you and lets you be there, right? I'm not going to sit here and stay at the door of somewhere that doesn't want me in. I'm going to just go on down the road, because wrestling is widespread in Texas. There's so many places here. All the places I mentioned, minus like one, was in Texas, you know what I mean? So it's a wide web, and the wider one that you cast, the more likely you are to get more bookings or find yourself in more favorable positions, so to speak. So, I'd say that. Damn near 3 hands worth of wrestling promotions that I remember.
Yeah, that's fair. So we'll be maybe 20, right?
Yeah, roughly. I'd say under 20. I want to be humble, and I'm going to say under 20.
That's fair. You were saying, there could be aspirations in your future to run your own promotion. Mm-hmm. So now you've done 20, roughly 20 promotions. There's a lot of goods, bads, the uglies that you've seen. Mm-hmm. What is one thing that you've learned that you will most definitely not be doing? And then what is one thing that you've learned that you are like, maybe something that was more impactful than you would have thought?
Okay, so a definite no is going to be letting talent, dictate the books. You know what I mean? I think that there comes a point where your personal bias and your friendship and how you feel about a person versus like what their opinions are of the people that you're bringing in to run your business and your shows and to help with the overall scheme of things, like we were talking about earlier, not putting personal business aside to make money is a big no-no. So I would never just sit here and without trying to, resolve an issue, because some things can't be resolved. But if two people have an issue that I want to work together, if I can resolve that and keep them on my books because they're both good for business, then I'm gonna do what's best for business. One thing that I would definitely be employing, is on the opposite side of that, is make sure that my talent always feels valued, right? Even from the guy who does the least and is just a show opener to the guy that I put the boatload of my problems on, and everybody in between, the people that I ask, the people in my locker room who've worked their ass off to be a part of that locker room, to be able to do this, full-time, part-time, however long they're able to do this, to make sure that they're given the respect that is, in my opinion, owed to them for having to got to that point, and not letting people who aren't in that position disrespect them upon that card.
So what does that look like to you? Like, how do you? So obviously, like, yeah, you want to give the talent the respect from the top to the bottom. You don't want to treat everybody the same, But there are people, there's differences, right? But how? What does that mean to you? What does it mean for you to make sure that everybody feels valued?
Well, so if there's a question that somebody has, never let it be superseded by somebody else's question, right? Like you said, everybody gets a little bit of a different treatment, but that's only because I need people in different positions. So if I don't have you weighed down with if I have you helping me with the show, right? Like, hey, you said that you could become an asset and you want to help with ring the bell, right? Make sure that just because you're ringing the bell, that you don't feel undervalued or like, oh man, motherfucker just put me with the bell and say, fuck you, go out there and die about it. You know what I mean? Like, even though that's not a representation that I guess really is that drastic. You know what I'm saying? Because ringing the bells, you should know how to do that. But even if you're new to that, I will make sure that if you had any questions, I would treat them as seriously as I would when somebody asked me, hey, what do you want in the main event for the finish? Like, do you want us to fucking, go crazy and destroy the arena? Do you want us to keep it in the ring? Like where do you want us, right? I think that people in the card versus people who are strictly there as tag-alongs of people on the card, the respect there should be different. If you're bringing your significant other, I've always been a big believer in don't bring your girlfriend or boyfriend to the locker room, because it's not where, if they're not wrestling, there's no need for them to be there. Yeah. Unless you have been given the clearance from the promoter on the show and you're helping, there's really no need for you to be backstage because it's typically already cramped. Yeah. And just, making sure that they're paid over everything. Before you shake my hand, before you try to tell me how much you like my work, paid over everything. And make sure that the opportunities are there in the future, right? And if I'm not going to use you and I don't have interest in using you, I would be real with you there and tell you, hey man, I don't know what I could do with you, but if you have an idea of something that we could do that maybe be applicable to the show, I'd be willing to listen. You know what I'm saying? Like something that could make you stand out and make us still be a working product, I'd be all the way down to listen. But if you don't have anything to give me and I have nothing I can give you, or if maybe our time is just elapsed and I feel like it's time for me to, shuffle somebody else in, I give you the decency of being real with you and being like, hey man, I don't mean, it's not a slight on your talent or anything, it's just the way that we're going now. Yeah. And I think the communication, I think that long story short, communication is how you give those people respect, because if you can't communicate to people what you need from them or want from them or don't want from them, then you can't fault them for just doing their job, man. They're doing what they're taught to do, what they were trained to do, and you're telling them after the fact that you didn't want something that you never clearly mentioned beforehand, but you use it as a way to get them out the door. Just don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Have some respect. Have some decorum. Yeah. Okay?
I mean, that's a great call out. I mean, that's you can apply that to any field, right? Mm-hmm. And you got any horror stories?
You mean like from the ring?
Or just whether the ring or promoters, promotions. Because like I said, there's a lot of parallels with fighting. There's some promotions that ran fantastically. And there's some promotions where you're just like, what the fuck is this?
You know what? I won't give these people the decency of mentioning their names.
Yeah, you don't gotta say.
But I will tell you that there was a place in San Antonio where me and my tag team partner Mo Kelly first formed, the Kamikaze Clique, as we were known, and we are indeed a San Antonio-based tag team as far as like that's where we were formed. But where we formed will never be mentioned, not by name. Because the person that runs this place thinks that he's 1990s Vince McMahon and that this is some sort of fucking carny production where you're going to sit here and you're feigning beef amongst your locker room and you're telling people that there's issues when there's not, because you want to create some sort of atmosphere that makes it feel real to you. You're out here calling yourself putting hits on wrestlers. You're actually not a trained wrestler, and you get in the ring, and your shitty ring that you don't service, you don't work on, you don't do anything with. You get people in there, and then you want to not pay them what they're worth. And when people do you a kindness because they need to get their reps in, you think that you can walk all over them and disrespect them. And I feel like if those descriptors apply to you, then you should probably shut down shop. Because you, sir, are the worst person in this space.
So creating drama out of not like instead of just being a good storyteller.
I'll give you an idea.
They were like purposefully starting.
Yeah. So what would happen is me and Cuddy and Mo Kelly were walking through the exit to this place one time, and these goofy goobers who we've never had an opinion on in any way, shape, or form suddenly went to the management and told them that allegedly, now this is what management told us, allegedly they came to management and said, hey man, they were eyeing us across the parking lot like they were trying to jump us. And I'm just like, this is strange because like the build of these men, first off, I don't believe in just jumping people because, like, if you can't fight that man alone, don't fight that man. Unless you got, like, is it 3-on-3? But, like, these guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, not a solid toned muscle between them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell, like, these guys ain't fighters, man. These guys are going to go home now and they're going to watch whatever Big Bang Theory got going on. They're going to drink a Mai Tai and eat some pretzels. Like, these guys, these are not the droids that we're looking for, brother. And so I remember standing in disbelief when I heard it because, like, I had no ill will in my heart to nobody at that location. And after that, it was like the person just kept trying to, not let us clear the air, right? It was like, oh no, keep your separate so nobody starts anything. I'm like, I'm just gonna walk up in the middle of the room and ask, hey man, do y'all think that we were gonna jump y'all? Because I just need to make sure who I'm about to laugh at, bro. Like, I'm not here to hurt nobody. I just want to know who I'm laughing at. And eventually it turned into he didn't have us scheduled to wrestle, but he wanted to not pay us to go in there and do a title match. When our fucking gear was in the car because we were told that we was doing a promo, I'm like, brother, you out of your mind, right? We were champions at that point. Like, you can't treat us with no more respect than that. And that goes back to, like, treat your champions with respect, treat your wrestlers with respect. So we just dropped our title belts in the fucking locker room and said, you got a champ, and we left. And that place is, to this day, still a clown show. So whenever I'm in San Antonio, I make sure to drop off flyers there so that they know where better wrestling is, because I don't want the fans to be suffering, free or not, man. Like, come to better wrestling. It's like 15 minutes away. Grow up, right? Get your kids out of that clown hole, man. Get them out of there.
That's so crazy, dude. Starting drama so that the show, so that you can, how do you even come to that mindset? Like, how do you even, what's the justification in his head? Like, try to put yourself in his shoes. What do you think he's trying to do?
He's trying to create the attitude era because that's what he thinks he is. He thinks that he's that. I'm telling you, when you think that you're Vince McMahon, you're like, I could do that. And I got the right pieces. I'm going to just make them mad at each other. And I'm saying, oh, we got all this backstage trim. I said, you don't, brother. You don't. You have a very goofy, silly little spot with a bunch of goofy, silly little people. And you're out here feeding them lies like we give a shit about them. And you're feeding us lies like they're threatened by us. And maybe they are, right? But we're not threatening them. So it's like, it becomes a matter of, fuck this guy, man.
There's that level of delusion again.
It's like, I wish I was that confident, bro. If I would just walk up to people and be like, yeah, man, I am actually the best wrestler in the world, bar none. I just wish I was that insane.
I sometimes I feel the same, dude. Yeah, man, it's that's fucking, yeah. Like, dude, I had some other questions, but the baby's getting a little fussy.
That's how we go.
But I am curious in one thing though. Same thing, similar to what I asked Dayton, is what's your process in developing, whether it's new moves? Like, are you studying other fighters? Do you have people or other wrestlers? Do you have people that you kind of model your game after? Yeah, like what? Yeah, you walk us through that.
Okay, so earlier we were talking about like do wrestlers, go train, and do you see that more, with real mixed martial arts, or like with with real Muay Thai fighters, like guys who go out there and do this shit for a career. And I personally don't, but I do watch, like I like John Jones, right? Like he has a couple of, I like watching MMA. So I try to apply certain things, right? I have this little technique that I do now where I catch a punch under my armpit and throw the elbow around the back. I saw John Jones throw that back elbow, and I was like, that shit is crazy. So like I've always tried to like maximize what I do with minimal steps, right? Like my wrestling style for the longest part has been really simple. Like I'm just beating you the fuck up, and I'm bigger than most guys there, so why would I sit here and hit you 100 times just for you to stand back up, right? Like, she's gonna throw you 3 times and you're gonna struggle to get up. So I've developed like my style more where it's, I try to be all encompassing, right? Like you said with Ilya Taporia, the future is, and it's the same way in wrestling. Like there's so many guys, like there's a guy named Will Ospreay that a lot of these guys love, bro. And I think he's fantastic, super talented guy. And he does all the things really cool, really well. AJ Styles before him. There's guys who they can do it all, but then there's like the detractor of, well, he's not 6'4". It doesn't matter, right? The way that they wrestle, and the people that they wrestle with, they know how to do the things together to make it look like fucking $1 million, right? So, it's like that Ilya Taporia thing where you gotta kind of train everything, man. Like you can't just be, I'm just a heavyweight. I'm just a flyer. Like you got to be able to be technical. You got to be able to brawl. You got to be able to showman when it's time to be a showman. You got to be able to think outside of the box and use the ring to cut off your opponent, because nobody wants to watch the same match 7 times. And like you said, APW, we have like 7, 8 matches. If all the people who go to the same school only do the same shit, oh, get me the fuck out of here,
It's
bro.
gonna be repetitive.
Get me
not gonna have
out.
the same, people aren't gonna come week after week.
No, I could come in after the first match. I'm leaving.
Yeah, and people keep coming because there is an ever-evolving storyline. The moves are getting better. People, every time I went, there's always been something more. Like the moves, high flyers. Like there's just been, they're pushing the limits further and further every single show. And then, one thing I know, like some people like to plan the match beforehand. Some people like to call it in the ring. What's your style? Do you have a blend of it? You like one or the other?
For me personally, I'll be honest with you, and this is something that Mr. Bob Johnson, shout out Mr. Bob Johnson, he is a wrestling historian out of Canada, and he was close with the Harts, and my dad, having wrestled up there, he met my dad, was acquainted with my dad, friends with my dad, and I was able to speak to him, and he told me a thing about my dad that I kind of try to model myself after. He said my dad would get the time and the finish, and he'd walk up to his opponent, hey, this is what we're doing, or this is the finish, and I'll see you out there. And in my opinion, I feel like the merit of a wrestler is how good can you move on the fly, adaptability and recovery, right? Because you could call Macho Man Randy Savage, they said, was famous for he could call a whole match in the back. Macho Man Randy Savage is not who I am, brother. I'm not that talented to remember it bar for bar, step for step. That is elite memory. Because I'll be honest with you, the kind of matches that I have, I'm going out there and I'm just putting meat to meat, man. So we're like, I ain't been rock too many times, but there's like once or twice where somebody hit me with a firm elbow right in the jaw, and I was like, all right, where are we going? And being that I wrestle in that style, I try not to put too much pressure on the little details, like just what's important, you know what I mean? And so a lot of times I'm a walk and talk kind of guy. But it's also helped me where, like, there was a situation in the past, I think I alluded to it earlier, where I've seen wrestling go from being what you thought it was going to be to, hey, we have to change on the fly. Like, this person got injured, this person's, he's vomited all over the ring and he's fucked his whole, you know what I mean? There's moments we've had to alter in wrestling, and I feel like the true hallmark of a professional is the adaptability and the ability to not only make it a believable change, but make it one that, hey, if this is the way we have to go, if this is the direction, maybe we've made a strong enough first step that we can keep this direction. Because an audible can always be called, but is an audible good enough to warrant an entire fucking, story after it? Like, was it such a good audible? Like, did you perform in your right well enough that, okay, maybe we can do something with you, and then you step up as a performer, in my opinion, because like the worst thing possible has happened. The top guy's hurt. Now we need a new top guy. Who's going to be the first there? And if you're in that position and you can perform well all the way through, not that I'm wishing injury on anybody that I'm in the ring with, right? But like, if I'm in there and I look good and you get hurt, it only stands to reason, you know what I mean? Unless there's somebody else that's in the books, there's only standing to reason that I'm going to be the next person to be able to shine in that regard. And I feel like working with that level of delusion, that's safe. You know what I mean? That's a safe level of delusion, because the reality is, if you're doing your job right, everybody walks home tonight.
Yeah.
And if freak accidents happen, like Owen Hart. Owen Hart fell from the rafters and died in the ring. My father died in the ring. A lot of people have passed away in that ring, and it becomes a moment of like clarity that this shit is not guaranteed. You can be trained by the best. You can come from great stock. When the Reaper comes, he comes, right? And as much of a tone shift as it is for like, what I was previously saying, you still want to be able to, I guess, also honor the people that you would share the ring with in those times, right? And the best way to stay ready is to just be ready, right? Don't have to get ready. And I don't know, I just always keep that in the back of my mind when I wrestle. That's a little insight. I don't tell nobody that. I always wonder, like, if this person dies, is this match worth them dying? And if it's not, then I just pray to God. I'm like, please let this shit end. Because if he dies now, and I've had an Artie Beats match, then what will I do with my life,
Another AAPW.
Right? Yeah, I'll never let Artie Beats live. not as long as I'm breathing. 10 years from now, you will remember this.
There's a bunch of different ways I want to ask this question. Like, how cool was it? What were the emotions? You mentioned that your dad died when you were 1.
Mm-hmm.
How much did it mean to you? Like, how cool was it to talk to Mr. Bob, who had met your father, and what was that like for you?
It was surreal. Honestly, I'll be honest. I've been doing this, and this has been my way of like being close to my father, because the only thing we have that really connects us is that we both did wrestling outside of bloodline. But to talk to Mr. Bob was it was like, the best way I can describe it was like experiencing a feeling that you didn't even know existed. You know what I mean? Like, I never heard nobody but really my mom, talk about my dad, or like, his family whenever I met them. But like, to hear people who knew him in his active years when he was actively doing what he loved, man, it's surreal. It's like, it's almost like I know him a little bit better. And, those type of moments, man, it's like crack, man. You want more and more and more. And not that I know what crack's like, you know what I'm saying? I never did.
Could you imagine?
The insane.
I mean, we all heard Hunter Biden explain crack and how good it has to be.
Listen.
Dude, that was the best sales pitch for crack of all time.
Whitney said that she never got a receipt for her crack, so she never bought crack. So, if we keep letting crackhead Hollywood and the crackhead house get away with it, somebody has to stop these people. What happened to the Dare Lion? What happened to him? He was supposed to change the Sith, and he joined it.
Damn Anakin.
Anakin Dare Walker in this motherfucker.
Who calls the shots in the ring? Is it typically the more veteran wrestler? Is that kind of like, is it like a seniority kind of thing? Like, how does that work?
I mean, typically, look, when you put together a match, it's really about what's the best for the fans.
Because I guess I'm just, again, to bring it full circle, I'm picturing in the ring, neither of us had the memory to plan it beforehand. We're calling the shots right now. And Travis Cuddy's like, hey, I gotta hump your head.
Nah, but I got a fun story, actually. Because when you mentioned Travis Cuddy, actually there was a match me and Travis Cuddy had. It was at America's Academy of Pro Wrestling, and it was for the America's Championship. Travis Cuddy's the only person that's ever beat me for a title, but he's never humped me. Never humped me. Wouldn't do that to me. In fact, I don't think I'm gonna wrestle Travis Cuddy ever again. But like, there's a point in the match where we had more time than we thought, and it was beautiful. It was serendipitous. We're not even within speaking distance. He looks at me, I look at him. I know he's about to jump over that top rope, and just perfectly aligned, everything came together. And I was just like, you know what? This is what it's like when you have good chemistry with somebody, or when you know what you're doing in there. Because there comes a point where you just, as the kids say, you cook, and you ain't even know the stove was on, bro. You just in that motherfucker like Remy from Ratatouille. You just going crazy, pulling the fucking reins and shit. So yeah, there is moments where you get in there and like what the fans want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a guy. I throw chops.
So if the fans want it,
it's not gonna be me.
So does that happen? Like, if y'all are in a match and someone's calling the shots and they call something, and you're like, nah. Like, how does that?
That just comes with the training. You got to be professional enough to put it over the right way. Because at the end of the day, like I said, the main purpose is to entertain the fans and for everybody to come home safe. And if you're not able to work in a way that does both, then you got to readjust what you're doing. So, yeah, there comes a point where, like, you know, you can call things, you can call audibles, but, like, if I say, hey, man, I'm going to throw you off the top of the turnbuckle, and there's 10 people in the crowd, nobody cares. Maybe we don't do that. Maybe I'm not going to risk fucking you up just because I feel like it. Right?
Yeah. Common sense.
Yeah, man. Just you know, what makes it where we both get to go home and enjoy this little bitty paycheck that we're going to get. Right?
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. Well, hey, I've enjoyed this.
I've had a hell of a time, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate that, dude. Yeah, it's fucking easy to talk to. We didn't mention this, but this is the first time we've met.
Yeah, hey, actually, on today. You've never seen me out before.
Yeah, this is the first day we've met. So fucking nice to meet you.
Hey.
Very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, bro.
I don't know how I skipped over that at the very beginning. It's because we were watching Travis Cuddy hump someone's face into oblivion and then fucking back kick him, bro.
All right.
While the ref is like,
hey, man, I'm telling you,
and then
bro.
to find out full circle, the ref got the same treatment. Nah, Travis Cuddy, you gotta be stopped, bro.
Hey, man, that's the guy to have on the podcast, bro. Explain
here for it.
What is his train of thought? Because why are you doing this to these people?
yeah, dude. Nah, I have to now. I have to. I'll be in the DMs.
Hey, bro, watch out now.
I'm coming. Oh, pause.
Hey.
Pause.
All gas,
Damn.
no break.
No breaks. No reference. Yeah, dude. I mean, I genuinely fucking enjoyed this. I love learning more and more about pro wrestling. I think it's fascinating. Again, fighting allows you to really enjoy it and understand what it is as an art form. And it's fucking, when it comes together, like you're saying, like how you're saying, like it's serendipity, y'all looked at each other, it just went smoothly. Like, it really is beautiful. When you watch it all, just go real smooth. Like, it really is. There's no stumbles, there's no hesitations. It's just boom, 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 boom. Perfect transitions, perfect, like gaps in action where like we're struggling. Like how you're saying, yeah, I'm 33 times, you're gonna have a hard time getting up, kind of thing. Like you really start to see it when people get really good at it, and then you know y'all, dude. One last thing, fucking y'all doing that goddamn battle royale. We were there in the crowd. The amount of fucking chops, bruh.
Yeah. Hey, that's me. That's my shit, man.
Was smack.
I love it. I live for that.
Bruh.
I live for that shit, man.
I remember it was you and Mo Cali, and I think it was, who were y'all on?
We had
y'all had Dayton in the corner.
And then we had Apollo Gold. We had
who's the real skinny dude? He looks like he should be doing porn. He has the long hair with the blue pants, I think.
Oh,
He's a Kirby.
Kirby,
Bruh.
Hey, Kirby's my dog.
Bro, that's what I would shout when I was in the crowd. I'd be like, bro, you look like a broke porn star.
Yo, I'm gonna tell him that shit, bro. Yo, that's hilarious. Yo, Kirby's, hey.
Yo, I had him in the corner. For those who've never watched AABW, Kirby can't be any more than 135 pounds soaking wet, dude. And you got Lue Cameron, who I don't know if you can tell, but the motherfucker's huge. We're talking about what, 290? 300, 6'4", 6'5". Then you got Mo Khaled, who's also another ginormous human being. And the two of them had this man in the corner, pressed up against the ropes, and we're just chopping him, which is taking the hand and smacking them across the chest to where you not only, this is one of those things where the crowd gets very into it, and so then obviously the wrestlers get into it, and I feel bad for the other guy when you're cheering for the chops, because God damn.
Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. I love a good chop exchange, man. And every now and again, I'll drop the straps in my singlet if they're really good chops. I'm like, let's get this. But like when I seen the way, I watched that battle roll back. When I seen the way me and Mo held these guys' wrists and said, here we go. I think to myself, man, I got problems. I gotta fix this immediately.
You over here talking about Travis Cuddy humping people's heads, bro. We should talk about what you did.
Listen, man. Hey, at least they got to walk away with their dignity, right? Like there wasn't a wet spot on the back of their head or nothing like that, man. There's a show I think you should leave, and on there's a skit where a chihuahua humped the back of that guy's head. I might make an edit out of it, man. It was crazy. It was wicked work.
Do it. Oh yeah, but man, I had to throw that in there. That popped in my head, and I was like, bro, what y'all did to those folks? I remember Dayton being in the corner, just getting fucking he left. His whole chest was as bright red as it possibly could be, dude.
And you know what? Here's the thing, though. After enough chops, you just get callous to it, and like you might get a red mark for like 10 minutes, and then it'll go away. But like. And Dayton, when he first showed up,
that for a couple of days.
That was early in.
I was his roommate. Like it was a couple of days. Like shit, dude, it might even been a week. We saw.
That sounds about right.
We saw him and the little action figure always walking around with his shirt off, dude. You'd be like, bro, still?
Yeah.
And it just bright red, man. Y'all did him dirty, dude.
Hey, you know what though?
I'm here for it, though.
You know what though? He's gonna become an A1 talent off the back of that because he's already thriving. He's doing great. I can't wait to see what he does. And 2026 is probably going to be his year. Yeah. Like, if I have to think about who's going to have a killer year, probably graduating that year. There's a lot of cool guys that's going to come out of it. AAPW 2020, 2026 is going to be Apollo Gold. You know, we're going to have Dayton come out. We're going to have probably Hugo Fenway finally graduate. There's a lot of up-and-coming stars that we got a stacked women's division hopefully being built because as a person who genuinely appreciates women's wrestling, when it's done great, it's the best, bro. Like I stand by that. Women's wrestling, when done great, there's no better wrestling. But when it's done bad, unfortunately, it brings you memories of the past and you don't want to watch it. Men's wrestling, men's wrestling is like it's either good and cool and it's normal, or it's terrible dog shit, and you start telling people, hey man, burn your boots. But when it's bad, you feel like it can't be improved upon. And that's the difference in women's wrestling. I feel like with the amount of opportunities they've been given recently, and they've just knocked them out of the park time and time again. I think that there's a lot of men wrestlers who could take, a lot of lessons from the intensity. Because like when I watch some of these women smack the shit out of each other, bro, I'd be like, I wish I could be amongst that type of violence, you know what I mean? Like, they really want it, bro. They really in there beating the
women are mean, bro.
It's personal.
Yeah, brutal. Mean, but, that being said, AAPW, we got a lot of stuff going on. We got AAPW Rising, which the next one's on the 16th. Yep. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm on that one, but I don't know that I'm not. But from the 16th to the 17th, there's going to be Matt Ward Pro in Fort Worth. I'll be there taking on Santa Chiva from San Antonio. But on the 18th, I'll be back in San Antonio at Blackbird Pro, defending the tag team titles with Ethan Hunter. And on the 19th, I'll be in Waco. I don't have a scheduled match yet, but I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna see if I got somebody to slap the shit out of. And that's my next week. And after that is Death in the Family on the 24th and AAPW Halloween Hardcore, which I hope you come out for on the 25th. Yes. That one's gonna be our big show. A lot of gimmick matches. With we got a chain match, which I'm in. We got a cage match. We got a Freak City street fight. We got all manner of shit. I think we have a pumpkin patch match, you know what I'm saying? And I've never been involved in no shit like that.
Were we there last year when they did Halloween?
You might have been.
We remember this. I don't know.
They had a pumpkin patch match last year.
I think we might have watched it on Twitch, or we might have seen it. We might have been. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, dude. Yeah. I'll full disclosure. Like the episode will come out after those dates, but I will clip those if I can put those. If I can get this all together and get it on there, I'll get those clipped so that way. That way we can post that for you. But yeah, man, I enjoyed this. It was very nice to meet you. I'm very happy that you. Thank you. You know, I'm glad that you enjoyed your time.
I'm glad you invited me out, bro. Cause I'll be honest with you, I shared that clip and I saw that, and I got a little jealous today. And I said, "Damn, it's a nice little setup out there, man. How good out there?" No.
Yeah, it's not too bad, right?
It's nice, bro.
We're trying to do a little thing. I will, if there's other wrestlers you think would be, really good and want to do that, please let me know.
Absolutely.
I'll definitely hit up Travis Cuddy because that has to be.
You have to get him out here.
We have to talk about why this motherfucker is humping people's heads, and why his hips move like that, bro.
Just stroke them down, bro. Like, come on now.
Damn, dude. And look, like I said at the beginning, or like halfway through, I couldn't imagine you being any different than who you are right now. You carry yourself very fucking well. You're very respectful. You have a great head on your shoulder. Your mindset's exactly what it needs to be for someone who's trying to chase their dreams. It's fucking awesome, dude. And I think your dad would be very proud, man.
Thank you. That means a lot,
of course, dude. Absolutely. And that's it, folks. Peace.